Alicia and New Steve. Oh, fuck, but
And you see,
Hey, everybody, what's going on? You can say hi, Stump. Go ahead.
well, I didn't know you was about to click the fucking button and shit. But
But
yeah,
that's all
howdy
right,
y'all.
though.
yeah, because
Howdy,
we didn't even get a
Mr.
doink.
Oh, because it's not Saturday. It's not Friday night. This is a
Oh,
chat because Stevie's up north.
This is not the
Hold on, you said doink, not joint. My bad.
Right. But you can still do that too, Stump. That's legit. That's fine.
Oh, I wasn't waiting on permission. I promise you.
But so as Stump alluded to, we have a wow. Why can't I read those names? That's terrible. This new system that they have here absolutely sucks. I gotta see if Stevie knows how to. I gotta see if Steve knows how to enlarge the names. Like so, when we enlarge the picture, the names usually come up nice and big. I hope that's not this small on the YouTube side of things. You know,
right.
because I mean, I have readers on, and I'm what 12 inches away from my fucking laptop screen, and all the names on on the blue blocks, they're all like this fucking big.
Oh, I got breaking news. Multiple people shot at a motorcycle rally in Red River, New Mexico.
Nice. Gang related? Angels related?
I don't know. I mean, multiple shot motorcycle rally. I mean,
My guess would be that's an MC club. That's an MC issue, and that'd be my guess.
Well, it's possible. The thing to remember: most of your big MCs have enough brains to realize that the public is not the right time nor the right place to take care of stuff.
Correct. But you I don't need to tell you that some of them are some of them
Yeah,
don't follow rules.
yeah, there's definitely times where piss poor temper precede good judgment.
Correct.
yeah, I don't think it was like an active shooter situation where someone came in there and started opening fire on a bunch of motorcycle people.
Right.
I think it was probably there's a beef happened or something. And
Right.
remember, there was a big shootout between two biker gangs, the Mongrels and somebody else, a couple of years ago. I remember they had like CCTV on that, from like inside the bar and out in the parking lot and stuff.
I they just found a kid. They just found a kid innocent for shooting a kid that went to high school with my son. So, of course, it was over the argument of drugs, and so he was invited to a fist fight, and well, when the kid showed up to fist fight, he got shot instead. So here's the thing: there's only two people in the vehicle. Two different guns were fired. The bullet that hit him and killed him was a 9mm. They can't find the casing because the casing was in the car, or the kid threw the casing out of the car window, something, whatever. Okay. The father has the 9mm registered in his name. And so he was the driver, right? The kid that the guy that did one of the guys that did the shooting was the driver. There was only two of them. People said the kid walked up to the car and said, "Hey, yo, get out of the car. We'll discuss this, that, and the other thing." And he got shot. There's only two people in the vehicle. One of them is responsible for shooting this kid.
Yep.
Did they match the gun to the bullet?
I said to my wife, I go, "There's something missing." I go, "They're not telling you the whole thing." So I'm reading the newspaper, go through the whole thing. I'm watching, reading it through the trial, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, something ain't right. And she says, "What?" I go, "It is totally impossible, okay, that two people in a vehicle, only two people, Kid gets shot, and they're not in the driver. So they haven't got the other kid yet, right? They haven't tried him because they tried him separately, right? So there's 2 people in the vehicle. He was killed by a 9mm. The driver's father owns a 9mm. There's no fucking way that the state didn't do their due diligence on this. No fucking way in hell. I said, there's something missing. And my wife's like, yeah. She said, look what it says right here. No casing could be found. I said, well, it's either in the vehicle.
But you don't need a casing.
That's what I was about to say. You don't need the
Well,
case.
I didn't think so either.
If you had a bullet, you just need a bullet in the barrel.
They made the argument about the casing or whatever, I guess. So I'm like, I said to my wife, I go, babe, that either the newspaper's missing something or they misheard, in the courtroom, they misheard I go, something, this is just wrong. I goes, it's impossible. You cannot have somebody shot with 2 people in a vehicle against an unarmed person and not one of those people are going to fucking serve the fucking penalty for this kid's death. It's impossible.
Yeah.
She goes, it gets better. I go, what? She goes, another bullet was fired. She said it came from she goes, what's a .380? So I said, really? So then that's what started me getting into this whole thing. And so I went back, I did everything, and 2 guns were fired. 9mm.
And 2 people were in the car.
And a 380. 2 people in the car. The guy that got shot had no weapons. Not a knife, not a pocket knife, not a fucking box cutter, not a nothing. Not a bat, nothing. Came to a fist fight. Well, for a fist fight. Over drugs, of course, right? You screwed me out of money with drugs, blah, 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 blah. I can't figure it out. So now I'm still, I can't believe they found this fucking prick innocent. Something that, so now I got to go way back. Now, a buddy of mine works for Lowell PD, and this is the city it happened in Lowell, Mass. I got to go ask him if he can go get me some things to look at and read. I don't have the time to go to the fucking town hall, so city hall, so because this is just fucking, there's something totally fucking being left out. Is all I'm saying. It's impossible. Totally. I mean, this is like 1950s, 1940s fucking mafia shooting somebody getting off. You know what I'm saying? There's no way. It doesn't happen today. Especially today's day and age with gun shootings. You kidding me? That's all I want to do is hang somebody for it. But anyway, listen, we got tonight we got Miss Shirley Shell and Steve were first. And she, how I know that? Because she said so with capital letters. First. And then we had Gunpowder Beauty, who's also with us tonight. And she was second, who actually said that I reminded her of somebody apparently back in the day or what have you, and called me a different name than Michael. She gave me the French version of Michael. You know what I mean? So if you're French and you know what the word Michael is in French, that's what she called me. Wasn't happy about that, but that's all right. I Gunpowder. And
Love you too.
And then we had the ever beautiful Miss Dish coming in third.
Hello, everyone.
And then we got Mr. Ohio Wolverine.
Howdy.
And Mr. Stump Greenwood with that awesome 6-shooter with the background on the American flag, which I think is fucking awesome.
Yep, and that some bitch is as accurate as it is
Where
sexy.
you at?
And we have Stevie's Woodworking in Homestead is chopped liver tonight. No, he's not. He's never chop liver. I said Link sent Lazy. He says, "Oh, I see how I rate chop liver over here." Sorry, Stevie. I said Link sent, and I went upstairs, so I didn't. Anyway, Stevie, what's going on? Hopefully your phone gets the link. I mean, your phone's able to get StreamYard. That'd be cool if you guys could come on. And Miss Susie Scott says is here too. Like, I guess they're on the thing. Susie, I hope things are well. I hope he's treating you right. Jezzo, where the hell you been, bro? Always a pleasure to see you. Hope things are well, kid. I did that for Dish because she loves when I call people kid.
Right?
P-Nas, guys, chilling by the fire pit on a laptop. How you been, P-Nas, guys? Great to see you, man. And Mr. G Trapper. Hello, my friend. Hope things are well. That was a hell of a picture, huh? That I sent G Trapper a picture of a deer with a fucking absolute fucking rack on this fucking thing, and it was fucking huge in the body and the whole 9 yards. And he made a comment about a heart attack ain't the word for it. Fuck that thing. That's one of those things you quarter bringing it out of the fucking woods. Hey, Vanessa Kitty. Welcome. How are you? Hope things are well. Good to see you. Jezzo, good to hear. Yeah, but who had their arms around most of the beauties? There's always that. Huh. Listen, just because I don't live in the palm-knocking fucking cocksucking state of Michigan. All right, because right now, you palm knockers are finally outnumbered. All right? I got a Southerner. I got an Ohioan who talks like a Southerner. And I got another Southerner. So, fuck all he is.
Yeah, but one of those Southerners lived.
Yeah, she lived in Michigan.
Yeah. You know what? She lived there long enough to be a fucking palm.
I lived there for 2 years. I think that, you know what, whatever.
There's a part.
Haha. Anywho. 4 out of 5.
Listen, don't be salty just because a lot of other states have better gun laws than the one you got, okay? Don't be salty. We love you.
I'm just glad I got my son and friends with me. At least I got 2 of them anyways.
Ohio's darn near in Michigan too, you know. He's
No,
pretty
he's
close
not. He's
to that.
nowhere near Michigan. He's just an Ohio Wolverine.
Man, I was able to drive to Ohio State Capitol and meet that wonderful man with my
Oh, you
husband.
met Stump? I know you met Stump.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were still talking about Ohio.
No, you said you met a wonderful man.
Oh, listen, I am going to meet Stump and that beautiful wife of his in person one of these days.
Yeah, well, that's what I keep saying about all you people, but
You.
I lost all my 3 I lost my 3 weeks vacation, and it's really hurting me. It really hurts not having my 3rd week. You know.
Thinking about coming up there and seeing the Browns play.
Huh?
So when the Browns play at the Patriots
Oh,
in
I
New
know
England,
you'll pay me back.
I think I'm gonna have you pick up some tickets for us. So I'm gonna meet you up there.
Yeah. I know you're gonna pay me back.
No, what I'm gonna do is tell you, and then when you think I'm fucking kidding, I'm gonna show up and be like, "Ding dong, you ready to go to the fucking game?" And you're like, "Going, fuck,
No.
I didn't buy no tickets."
My,
And then you're
my
like,
wife's
"Just fucking triple for them because I'm gonna make you scalp them."
my wife's gonna be like, "Who the fuck is this fucking guy at my door?" I'll be like, "I don't know who the fuck he is. I never met
He
him.
got his shirt off, and why is he painted orange?
I don't know who he is, babe. Call the cops."
Painted orange. That would be awesome.
Yes, Gerald B. We all know that. We all know that most states have better gun laws than mine.
we always
That's no
sit in the
secret.
same area because my brother-in-law is the one that has the season tickets, and we just buy them off of him. Like
Right.
he'll throw them out there like, hey, I got these games that I don't really want to go
Want to
to,
go
or
to. Right.
and these are the ones that are for sale. And we went to several. I went to a Monday night game
In January.
and it was freezing, Jesus.
Of course you did.
But,
You didn't go in September.
But we went to a game in November. Yeah, late November. And dude, it was like, well, my son played at halftime, marching band. So we went
Bless
to see him, and we were playing the Miami Dolphins. And we were sitting in these seats, and the Monday night game, I froze my nuts off. So I'm like, I'm wearing thermal underwear. I've got my jeans on, my wool socks, my boots, my long sleeve T-shirt with my hoodie and my coat and my gloves and my hat. And then you sit there for 10 minutes, and the sun's beating on you. Like, Jesus Christ, I'm fucking burning up here.
Sweating.
Sweating my ass off up in these stands now. I was like, now I understand why you see people on TV like with no shirt on, with their shit painted on their chest or whatever, because it's really not that cold in the stands once you get all the people in there.
I used to have season tickets to the Patriots. I had them for quite some time. And I went to a game that was negative, I want to say negative 14 or 15 or something like that. Okay. Was it cold? Yeah, it was cold. But like Ohio just said, as soon as you get in a closed area with 63,000 people, first of all, none of us sat to begin with, because if you sat, you froze to death. Okay. So we're all standing and cheering, and you're cheering and you're moving and you're doing whatever. You're creating your own body heat, number one. And then number two, the wind that was there really wasn't too bad, because everybody was blocking in on each other. Like if I went like this, you couldn't feel any wind. It's amazing. It's amazing what happened. You can freeze your ass off out in that parking lot. And when you go into that stadium, it's just amazing.
Yeah, you block all that wind and you're insulated, and like you said, the body heat. But if I can back things up for just a minute, back to Gunpowder, if y'all don't mind.
Yep.
Miss Gunpowder Tammy was on the phone, so I had everything muted. And you're right. One of these days we're gonna cross up. Both us, you and the Tardut, and all the little fornication trophies. You're right. We
You said that word.
The fornication trophies. That's awesome. Steve a bag of the wild. People have them in the yard all the time. No, Jared he's up in his camp up in Michigan. Like not his house. He's up on his property that he's gonna be residing at. He's like you, he's like Stump, he can open his fucking door and fucking drink a cup of coffee and shoot a deer.
And let
You
up
know what I mean?
Well, in midstream taking a piss.
You know what I mean? Some of us actually, unfortunately, don't have that luxury.
No, but you like to complain about that. You do get to live in a deer stand.
I don't know if I could do it anyway, to be honest with you, right? I don't know that I could. I mean, obviously I could, okay? I don't know if I would want to. I'm going to tell you why. For me, this is just strictly for me, right? When I go hunting, first of all, I want to go away. I hunt here in Massachusetts, obviously, but when I go to Maine, I'm there for a week. You know what I'm saying? And we're in a cabin with the guys, and it's just a fun time. You know what I mean? For me, I don't know if I can just... Seriously, I mean, I don't know. Like, even when I hit my buddy's backyard, he's got like 21 acres behind his house. Yeah, I'm hunting, and I'm in this tree stand, and all that. It's cool. And, we get to shoot different things we're not supposed to, and, like fish or cats and all that bullshit. But I don't know. It's not the same.
Hold on though. Let me give you this side of it. You've got kids or spouse that's driving you bonkers, and you just walk out the door in your hunting gear. You got your bow or whatever it is you're using, and then you just sit there and wait for nature to do its thing. And you're ignoring your family because they're driving you nuts, and you get that little peace and quiet the soul needs. You go out in nature and you live on it. So if it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you don't have to drive 30 minutes away. You just walk out your back door, get to walk in, take your little ATV, whatever it is you want, and go to your spot and forget the bullshit and chaos that's, a couple 100 feet away.
Yep.
Big
Just
dog.
saying.
Other kind. What's going on? G Trapper said when we bear hunt, we sit for 5 hours. Ooh, my ass, that would hurt.
You sounded like the announcer at a game, Mike, when you said "Big Dog" to the leather guy.
It sounded like some damn Shea Stadium bullshit. What's going on?
G Trapper, you
Gunpowder's
in
got a
a?
little bit of echo going on when she unmutes.
Gunpowder Beauty.
Yeah, she knows. I'll have to tell her when she comes back. We found that off. Yeah, we found about that. We found out about that off air. G Trapper, are you in a ground blind when you bear hunt? Or are you up in a tree stand? My buddy went up to northern Maine, G Trapper, and he was in a ground blind, and he said they dropped him off. That was a guide, right? Dropped him off at 3 p.m, picked him up around 11. He shot one, but I'm like, wait a minute. Tree stand, cool. If you're paying for a guide service, doesn't the guide stay with you?
Not necessarily.
No?
No.
What do they say? Walk that way? I mean, like, how does that happen? I'm paying you.
They usually put you by a stand or something like that before they leave you.
I'm paying you. Yeah, no, they brought him in,
Yeah.
and they walked him in and said, sitting there, and then screwed. Told him use the rings in the barrel as a judge on when to shoot and when not to.
Yeah, that's a grocery store hunt. That's not a guided hunt.
And
Right.
so I was like, if I'm paying that much money, your ass is standing with me.
Right.
Yeah, because that way, if I miss or something, and that somebody charges me, I can shoot that bastard in the knee, and my fat cripple ass can still live to talk about it.
Exactly. Because here's my shit luck. My shit luck is I'm sitting in a ground blind. The motherfucker come from behind me. I don't even know it. You know what I mean? That'd be my luck. Scare the piss right out of me. Forget about it. It'd be all over. Or it'd be what happened, what Big Dog Leather kind just said. You know? I would have lost my shotgun and, I'd be screwed. So.
Dish. Think about it. Poor Mikey'd get woke up mid-nightmare. Damn bear'd be stealing his ham sandwich out of his pocket.
G-Trapper says...
Mikey, I forgot. I wanted to show you something.
Whoa. Can you say that on TV?
I got a new one. It's blue.
Oh, nice.
Did you get a summer one or is it a winter one?
Yeah, it's a summer one. It's real thin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, how you doing, darling?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for asking. So it's pretty funny how you mentioned you had a hat because before I came down here, I'm like, fuck, I have a hat in my head and Stump's gonna make fun of me.
Are you
So
damn right?
upstairs.
Fucking Nick and Mole Rat without that sumbitch.
They all make fun of me because of my hat, because of this one, right? This is probably the oldest hat I got, and it took me forever to get this fucking visor this way. And they think I should throw it out. I ain't throwing it out. G Trapper says we go by ourselves by boat with no lights. 8 miles is a long way in the dark.
I've done that before, deer hunting, but we used lights.
So G-Trap, and you know I got to make my way out to see you too. But did I tell you I'm afraid of the dark? And then being in the woods, I don't know. I guess I could do it if I had to. Besides, I'd have to man up next to if I was. Are you kidding me? Look at G-Trap. The guy's a man's man. You know, I show up and be like, I'm afraid of the dark.
Hey, Mike, yeah, I will say this. Having done a little time down toward Louisiana, the man's right. There are places on this planet where when the sun goes down, you really truly don't know what the fuck dark is until you've been there.
Right.
Oh
And
man, have you ever been out on the ocean when it's dark?
Yes.
Yeah, dude. You touch yourself in the fucking.
We
you
lost.
Put your finger in your nose before you see it. You touch yourself before you see your hand.
We lost power on the boat. You know, we didn't like rent some 50-foot or nothing. We were just on a 20-foot fucking, what do you call it, boat. But the engine shut off. We lost power. We were blue fishing. We were fishing for blues, and it's fucking dark. Especially on an overcast night, there's no moonlight. There's no. And people say, "Well, your eyes adjust to the darkness." Fuck you. We're not talking about you walking from outside into your house, into a dark house, and then your eyes adjust there. Okay. We're talking. You ain't seeing that. You know what I mean? Who dropped? Oh, we lost. Should I add gunpowder back to the live stream? You guys out in the chat room, say aye if I should click Gunpowder Beauty back to the live stream.
Or gunpowder.
Oh, she in the
Oh,
basement?
poor Gunpowder! You see what she wrote? Poor
She in the basement?
Gunpowder, my ass. Good.
Mikey, remember that's a Southern woman that's damn good with both a 45 and a shovel, and she has your fucking address.
Well, that didn't take much convincing. Now did it?
Well, Shalisa said aye. So when Shalisa asked, I try to, you know.
Thank you, Shalisa. Love you. I see how you are, Michael.
Whoa.
Not very nice.
Let me,
Not very nice, mister.
Let me explain to you what's going to happen. You call me Michael again.
Well, you didn't like the
Yeah,
other
look out,
M word I
Jamal.
called you. I figured we're in America. I'd speak English instead of French.
It's got to be Michael or Michelle. Which one's it going to be? Which one you picking?
I'm going to fucking knock the fucking book.
It's right there in his picture. It's 4 letters. M-I-K-E.
Exactly. It's the only thing you're allowed to call me, Mike or Mikey, period. That's it.
Oh, I still love you, Mikey.
Or you can call me Mr. Asshole because I'm 55 years old and I deserve the right to be called Mr. Asshole.
Gerald. You go, Jezzo.
Gerald B says the guides put in lots of time setting up bait stands and getting the bears to come into the stand. I get that, Jezzo. All I'm saying is that I shouldn't say every guy, because like G-Trapper just told you how he does it. Working class woodsman goes by himself. He doesn't go in and even go with anybody. I'm just saying for guides, I just thought that the guys that I've talked to that went on guiding hunts, especially for bear, the guides never left them, is all I'm saying. So it was different for me to, hey, Matt, what's going on? Good to see you, man. Sounds like Mike needs a ballistic helmet and not. I do. Against these people.
Who's that?
RTT.
RTP. Oh man, I watched this video about trigger, position or whatever.
Yeah.
And
That's an old video.
No. He just put it up.
He put another one out? Okay, go ahead. Because go ahead.
What's so ironic about something he said was it doesn't really matter where your finger position is too much on the trigger if you have a good grip. And I just went through a training class a couple days ago with our firearms instructor, and he critiqued every single move I did and showed me where I was making some mistakes and stuff. And we improved my grip. And once he showed me a way to improve my grip and then how to position my elbow and just turn my, bend my. Let me turn my camera on for this.
I was going to say you got to do. You're on radio now, so there you go.
Instead of fully extending out or whatever, you got to bend that elbow, but then take on my, when you bring that grip in, you got to really, it's like a vise. He explained it. If you put a pistol in a vise,
okay,
and you pull the trigger, it doesn't matter if you pull that trigger on the side, straight back, any, however you're going to pull that trigger. If that pistol's in a vise, it's going to shoot in the same place every time. You got to use your hands as a vise. But what he helped me is that grip, and then dropping my right elbow just a little bit, and then raising my left elbow out just a bit, and it turns your hand in and gives you a better grip. Doesn't work for everybody, but it worked for me. And dude, I was hitting fucking amazing after he taught me that. And
you know what's really, really neat about that, Ohio? If you stop and think about it for a minute, and I'm sure Matt's going to jump in my shit a little bit, but it'll be all right.
I wish I could get him on the panel.
No shit. But everybody's being taught now that squared to the target, shoulders, both of them square to the target. But notice, like he was just saying, what they were critiquing on him, slowly and slowly we're going right back to the old school Weaver position. An arm locked and the other one kind of pulling back in at an angle to your target.
I did not see, I've said this on my chat. I don't know if it was my chat or Stevie's chat, but I know I've said it twice anyways. Matt did I don't know if it was an old video or he was just telling me when he was on one of my chats. And this was shit. This had to be at least 6 years ago, 5 years ago. When I was shooting Ohio, was Ohio still here? Oh, yeah, there
yeah, I'm here.
When I was shooting, and I wasn't shooting a handgun, by the way, number one. I know it's different. Okay. So I was shooting my shotgun. But anyway, Matt was the guy that told me, Mikey, how do you have your finger on the trigger? So I showed him how I had it. If this was I can't do it because I'm all fucked up. But he said, don't put the trigger in here. He said, put the trigger on your pad.
Yeah, right in the middle of your pad.
Correct. I was using in here, and everything was going to the fucking right, going to the right, going to the right, going to the right, going to the right. He's Mikey. Use your fucking pad or your finger. Don't use the middle of your. And you want to talk about being straight again? It helps a lot.
You get the center grip on right, and remember.
Somebody making some popcorn?
Fireworks.
Oh, fireworks.
Oh, I was going to say, I was kind of hoping that somebody's going to throw me some popcorn.
But what I was really speaking of, though, Mike, it was
your whole grip is what you're saying.
I went to that training, and then the next morning I wake up and I get on some YouTube and I watch Matt's video, and it's like the fucking exact same thing that my instructor, that the guy that instructed me, just told me. It was like, Jesus Christ, Matt's just going over the exact same thing I just learned. And it was just ironic that it was, within a day apart, he drops a video of almost exactly the same thing I was just taught, Yeah.
No, it's these guys that, Matt and all these guys that
I just, and
you can learn so much from them, and like you said, Ohio, not to interrupt you, but it's like you said, right? you went from, you know, however off you were from on. I'm not saying you weren't hitting the target, but you were off, and you changed that. You raised your left elbow. You did this. You made your hand a vice, and you raised your left elbow, and you didn't. You went at full
Yeah.
extension.
Well,
You would,
my
and
main
you said,
problem
and you said all that stuff, and your shot changed. I mean, these guys know what the fuck they're doing. I mean,
yeah,
it's,
but my thing is, he had me shoot like 5 different times before he showed me anything, and like 5 different times my grip was different, and he like was basically telling me your grip has to be the same. It has to be the same every time you draw that pistol. It's got to be the same, and that goes back to not being trained
proper.
like Matt's been trained, or like police officers have been trained, or that's reverting to I'm going in my backyard and shooting, or I'm going with my buddies to the range and shooting, and I know enough to shoot to hit targets and stuff.
Yep.
But when you learn something like that, like I was taught, and like Matt's teaching on his videos, it brings in a little bit more perspective of if you do have to draw. You know, I always had I would say I always had the know-how and the confidence that if I was in a self-defense situation, I would be confident enough to make a draw and hit a shot. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I've always had that, but now I've got.
Now you can hit an aspirin 20 yards away.
Well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, just by a little bit of critiquing and learning something different that you're not taught, you know, without taking a training class or whatever. So it's very important to,
Correct.
like these guys always say, is to go out and get some training. You know, not just a CCW class, or not just a friend's, uncle showing you how to shoot when you're 9 years old or something like that. You know, you got.
Well, let me ask you a question. So everybody that's on this panel shot a gun, so that's cool. Obviously, let me see, Jezzo's out there, Stevie's out there, obviously Matt's out there in the chat room. Everybody in the chat room and on the panel, so far, I believe everybody shot a gun in there. Okay. So I'm going to ask this question. And for those of you out in the chat room, just type it. Do you guys shoot with an eye closed or both eyes open?
Depends on what I'm doing.
Yeah, depends on the range of the target. Like, I mean, if I'm within a few yards, I don't even use the rear sight. I learned that from another instructor, just putting the front sight. When you put the front sight, well, here, let me turn the camera on again. When you put your front sight on something and then you extend out, as long as your wrists are straight, the back of that gun is going to come up and level out right when you pull that trigger. Boom. As long as your front sights are on that target, you're going to hit center mass. So I don't know, if Matt's still out there, if he agrees with that statement.
Matt said both eyes open unless it's a magnified scope beyond about 50 yards.
Yep. But now, if I can say this, and I think Matt'll be able to totally back this up, like y'all are talking about, get a little training, right? You're carrying a gun to defend yourself, your family, your house, for whatever reason, right? Something goes on, you need to use it against something other than, the furry critter you plan on putting in a frying pan. You got to look at it like this, dude. You can own the tool, the gun. You can also own every tool for mechanicking made and known to fucking mankind. Without the training, you ain't a fucking mechanic. You can't fix shit. Get your fucking training. Know how to use your goddamn tools.
Yeah, I mean, I can go out and buy a fucking jackhammer, but if I've never trained to use it, I don't know how to fucking use it. You know what I mean?
I thought that's what YouTube was for. Sit there and give us videos on how to do shit without having to go get training.
Well, you know what? I have used YouTube videos for shit like that too, but not when it comes to. I mean, you can't. Okay, Matt puts out an awesome service, with the videos that he puts on his channel.
Correct.
But you can't just watch you can't sit there for 12 hours and watch RTT videos and go, all right, I'm trained, and not
Right.
actually go do it. He's just giving you the first tool of training. This is how he does it. This is what he recommends. You try it, you do it this way, and see what happens. But you have to actually go do it. You just can't
Correct.
watch videos and
Right.
I watched a 20-minute video on television, so now I know how to do that. You
Right.
know?
I mean, you're not fixing a vehicle or changing a tire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just, did you ever
I did
shoot me
learn
with
how-
both eyes open?
I did how to learn how to change an alternator on like a Volkswagen,
Right.
from YouTube,
Did you-
because I was like, "Oh, fuck, get this thing off," and I was like, "Oh, YouTube it."
Just, you ever shoot with both eyes open?
Yeah, when I'm doing my 22 pistol.
Yeah.
Yeah, just playing around. I use both eyes open. And usually with a scoped gun, I use the one eye shut.
Gunpowder?
Yeah.
You shoot with an eye open or shut?
And a what?
You shoot with an eye open or shut? I know it
Eyes open or
depends.
one eye shut when you
I
shoot?
know it depends, but
Well, for me, I'm almost legally blind in my left eye, so I have to close that eye so I can use my right eye.
Shalisa,
Both. It depends. The 15,
I have-
R15, I have both eyes open.
I have never shot, whether it was a handgun, rifle, shotgun, whatever you want to call it, long gun. Okay, I have never shot a gun without closing my left eye, not one time. I don't even know if I could shoot a gun with both eyes open.
Well, like you said, Mike, it depends. Like, if I'm hunting with a shotgun, yeah, I'll just use my dominant eye.
No, but I know guys that I know. Let's just talk about hunting for half a sec, right? I know guys that when they're hunting, both their eyes are open. Which, how do you do that? That would fuck me up all the hell. Looking through a scope, and I could no way I could do that.
Well, I'll tell you what, it really depends on the scope. Like Matt said, depends on how far out. Because I have a scope that's like a 2x7. If it's set on 2, it's just like looking through a red dot. It's got both. I use both eyes open, and your dominant eye is the one looking through the scope, and then your other eye is also on the target too. So you just see those crosshairs. What it is it takes practice, because once those crosshairs, once your eyes get adjusted and you know what you're doing when you're practicing these shots, is when you pull that rifle up and you got both eyes open, that sight picture, those crosshairs are going to be where you need to be. You know what I mean? You just have to get used to it.
Well, and you got to remember who I was, taught to shoot a gun. Didn't matter whether it was a handgun or a rifle, right? Was my grandfather, who thought that if you put a scope in your gun, you were cheating fuck and you don't deserve to be able to fucking shoot. And that's what he thought. If you weren't using the sights that the fucking manufacturer put on that fucking rifle, then you're a fucking jerk. And that was his attitude. He never shot anyone with a scope on any of his fucking rifles. And his own brother-in-law, right? They'd go hunting, or they would tell a story about hunting. He goes, you fucking cheated. He says, I'm the guy that shot a fucking nickel on the telephone pole from 115 yards out that everybody else didn't come within fucking 3 feet of, for Christ's sakes. He says, and you guys all had scopes. He goes, fuck, go away with your scopes. But he never did target shooting or hunt. He never ever used a fucking scope, and he wouldn't do it.
I'm farsighted, so a lot of times if we're just out target shooting and stuff like that,
yeah,
I will use backup sights or iron sights or whatever the further out that I'm going, because I just have a problem with my vision being farsighted, that I can see, I can't see my phone in my hand to figure out who the fuck's who's calling me,
right, without
my glasses on. But I can see, that there's a flea on that squirrel, 200 yards out. I can see distance like crazy, you know. But anything up close, my eyes are, you know. So
So
a lot
Matt,
of times I'll switch over to like iron sights or backup sights if I'm going too far out. If I'm, you know, like I said, but the one scope I have is like a 2x7, so it doesn't.
Yep.
It doesn't. It's damn near like having a red dot on a rifle, you know.
yeah, I never shot with a red dot, so I wouldn't know. But on that, good segue for the red dot. Ohio, I know you don't have the chat up, but Matt just wrote, "Here's a fun thing for all you to try. Put a piece of duct tape over the front of your red dot lens. Look at the dot with both eyes open, and you will see the dot in your non-dominant eye, non-dominant/off eye. Okay,
Yeah.
and you'll see the dot in your non-dominant eye. At some point in time, when I go back to the range with my neighbor, I'm gonna have to try that. I've never tried that, so
You know, and I was also taught the point, you know, a point and shoot, like with your thumbs.
yeah, my brother was trying to teach me
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
too.
it's a simple thing. Is like,
Yeah.
and if you have the proper grip, going back to the grip thing, if you got the proper grip and you point that thumb at something, that bullet's generally going to go to that area. You know what I mean?
Who did we just lose?
We
Stump.
lost
Good night, Stump. If you're not coming back, that is.
Right, PNASCARs.
So
I like guns and shooting them too. Right on, PNAS guys.
yeah, it's like,
Um,
you know, if you're in like a defensive situation or something like that, or
Yep.
short quarters or whatever, and a couple of yards, man, you don't need to be pulling that gun up to your eye and trying to put the sights on something. You just point and shoot, you know, at that point. And it all comes back to repetition, muscle memory, and training.
right. Geez. Oh, are you trying to say, geez, Mike, can I come on now? Yeah, if I sent you the link, I don't know where the fuck you were to begin with.
Is that Stevie?
Yeah, he never beeped in to me. Oh, it never beeped in, I should say. Not him. Matt says it's a trick, so to speak. If you are worried about the enemy seeing the glint off your optic, you close your front optic cap and you can still superimpose the reticle on the target.
Yeah, I understand exactly what he's saying on that. Yeah, so I mean, as long as you like, well, I remember seeing a video. I don't know who it was. It might have been. It was definitely an old timer. Definitely an old timer, and they were talking about some of the first red dots, which was just a red. It wasn't a totally see-through scope with a red dot. It was just a thing with a red dot on it, like a illuminated red dot that was like basically having your cap closed. And
by
you
the way,
pull it
I'm
up
to the green now. I like the green.
Yeah, but you just pull it up and put that dot. You know, it wasn't like you were looking through a scope. It was just something with a dot in there that lit up. And then when you pulled your gun up, God, what video was that? I just watched it not too long ago. And it might have been, is his name Masada?
Not the guy with the Mexican. Not the Arab guy with the Mexican.
He's an older guy, self-defense guru. We got a really bad wig.
Oh, I thought you meant there was the Middle Eastern guy with the fucking Mexican, with his Mexican friend that lives out in
Matt says
Utah.
the first red dots didn't have exit lenses. Yeah.
Gerald B said his 7mm has a 4x16 on it. His 308 has a 1x5 by 3.5, and his 30-06 has a 3x9 on it.
I think I got a 3x9 on my 22.
I think I got a 3x9 in my fucking shotgun. Or my muzzle loader, rather. No, I think my muzzle loader is 4x. You know what's amazing? I'm a better shot with my muzzle loader than I am with my fucking shotgun. Go figure. I can't. I can't figure it out. I don't know why.
I'm a better shot with my Red Ryder than I am anything else.
And that's sitting on, hey, that's sitting with the rest at the range. You know what I mean? That's not even freestanding. That's not, you know. It's I just think it's super weird. Stevie, you coming? Well, that's probably not a good thing for me to ask another man, right? But you knew what it meant, right?
He's just breathing heavy. Don't take it the wrong way.
Peace, love, and grooviness, brother Stump. I'm putting out more smoke than this fire, but I'm keeping hydrated. Right on, P. NASCARs. I'm not much of a typer. Well, obviously, you're not much of a, what do you call it? Oh, you got a 3x9 in your 220 Swift. I was going to say, Dish, you just went dark. Almost black.
Yeah,
even.
my computer keeps doing that crap. It's ticking me off.
Well, you know, if you're going to start blinking, you know, Stevie started blinking, if you remember correctly.
Right.
You know,
Dude,
they were.
I have the Spotify app on my phone, and then it connects to my car radio.
Yeah.
Something's going on with Spotify though. It like stops right in the middle of a song, and then then you have to hit the play button again, and it starts the song over. And I was like, "Oh, this sucks." But
Get
you're
rid
like,
of it.
well, you're singing your ass off driving down the road, and next thing you know, the music stops, and you're like, blah blah blah. You're still going. You're like, what the hell?
So you're singing, you're banging along, jamming with fucking REO Speedwagon,
I don't jam to REO Speedway.
and you're at a red light, Baby, I'm gonna keep. And some fucking guys looking at you, going, "What the fuck?"
No, you don't have to worry about me jamming to REO Speedwagon. That's one band I never liked.
Aw.
The girls like REO Speedwagon. That's all that matters. You know, wife wants to go to REO Speedwagon, you go to REO Speedwagon.
I like REO Speedwagon and
I'm taking to go to see Air Supply. What are you kidding me?
Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Ohio's jamming to Prince. Maybe Stump. Maybe.
Fuck yeah, I'll jam to Prince. Fuck yeah, yeah.
He's like my second that I saw right in my lifetime because
Prince
I've been
was a
told
hell of a guitarist.
I've been told Elvis in the day was a great performer, right? But
Yeah.
performance for a performance, out of all genres of fucking music, okay. Nobody beat out Michael Jackson, and Prince was second, and that's what they said.
Milli Vanilli.
Milli Vanilli.
I seen a meme the other day, cracked me up. It was Milli Vanilli with like this like pissed off look on her face. It was like Milli Vanilli watching kids on TikTok make money from lip syncing, you know?
Right.
That's what I watch on TikTok. People my age lip syncing all the old songs. It's fucking awesome. My daughter's like, "Daddy, why do you listen to that old music?" Until I go downstairs and Camera Girl's got the fucking Def Leppard fucking blaring away. I'm like, "You're 16. You know when that song came out?" She goes, "When?" I says, "When I was 16. My wife's like, "You're a liar. That fucking song you came out, you were 18, 19 years old." I'm like, "Whatever."
I don't know, man. You were probably more like 9.
You can go suck my dick. No, it was not.
Hey, at
I'm
least
not Stevie, okay? Stevie was like fucking, you know,
Stevie was like 36 when Def Leppard came out.
correct.
and Mikey was in his 70s.
I was
Right on,
I was
RTT. Right on, Matt. Go ahead.
Let's see, when did Def Leppard hit it big? Around 83?
No, Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
What? No.
86.
No,
86,
might have been
87,
like,
88 was their heyday.
I'm talking like
Turned into
Photograph.
a rock.
Photograph
Def
came
Leppard
out in
Photograph.
86, 85, 86, 85.
Hysteria came out in 87.
Yep.
Pour
Yeah,
some
that was like their
sugar
third or
on me.
fourth album. Pyromania
Jesus.
came out in 83.
Are we really having an argument about Def Leppard?
Yeah,
Yes, we are.
it's on.
I mean, because they Photograph.
Talk
Remember
about
Photograph?
me too.
Picture of.
I'll
Got a
take some
photograph,
please.
picture of Passion Killer. You're too much.
Yeah, that was 83.
You're the only one.
They
I
don't
want to.
have songs.
I was
on
10 when that came out.
I see your face every time I dream.
In what year?
1983.
I don't
Yeah,
think
I
so.
wouldn't have thought so. Bite
I
me.
think you're wrong.
I just looked it up. 1983. Photograph. Off the Paramania.
Okay, Photograph might have, but I'm talking. Okay, all right. I
Like,
know what you're
Pour
saying.
Some Sugar on Me was like 87 or 86.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
when they were in. Like I said, that's when they were in their heyday.
You think that was their heyday?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I thought their heyday was a little bit before that.
Pour Some Sugar on Me is like you can't walk into a strip joint without hearing that fucking song. I mean that song plays everywhere. High and Dry. Yeah, you're right. High and Dry came out in 81. I don't. You like the High and Dry? I don't know.
Me and My Wine.
Yep.
That was
I'll tell you what, though, 83 and 84 were some great years for music.
Ozzy when he went on his own stuff was fucking awesome.
Stevie, where are you? You.
Wow,
There he is.
imagine
There it is.
he's spinning. He's spinning, kid.
Round and round and round.
Come on, Stevie, pop in there. Pop, 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 pop,
No,
pop.
so upside down.
Poof.
You can do it.
You can do it, Stevie. Stevie,
Hold
so
your breath.
hang on, Stevie. I'm just gonna explain to you. You get your buffering circle going very slow, if you can hear me. 1987, Appetite for Destruction came out and changed rock forever. Good point.
Oh, hell yeah, it sure did.
Good
That's
point.
probably my favorite band.
Good point.
I'm big Guns N' Roses and Van Halen. Those are my two
Yeah.
go-to.
What's your favorite Van Halen album? What's your you know what I mean? Like if you had to pick a favorite one.
Damn, I don't know. I mean, 84 was good because it had,
See that's
you got,
my favorite. That's my favorite one.
you got Jump and Panama and then Hot for Teacher and
Yep.
Drop Dead Legs.
There you are.
That's the
They made it.
Aw,
What's up, bud?
he's waiting for you to.
Smack, he's all frozen up.
Oh, he's frozen. God
He
damn
must have got bitch slapped by Susie.
it. But all the hair bands.
I mean, I like Diver Down. I like Fair Warning.
Yep.
I mean,
old stuff.
oh,
I'm the
yeah.
ice cream man. Catch me as I walk on by. You gotta love that song.
My favorite Van Halen song is probably Mean Street.
Said he's-
Yeah, that's a good one.
So I walk through city streets past the crazies on my block. I love that line.
So I tried to get my wife to do a TikTok with me. So you guys remember the band Styx?
Come
Oh,
sail
yeah.
away, come
Okay.
sail away,
So
come sail away with me.
all right, but listen. I'll go through the house and I'll go, babe, I'm leaving. And she goes, and she'll come out with, see ya. And I'll go, I must be on my way. She goes, then hurry up. And everything I come out with, she has a thing. I go, babe, we got to put that on a fucking TikTok. I'm like, that'd be so fucking cool. So earlier tonight, I'm sitting on my little porch out front, and she's sitting in my. I'm sitting on the porch because she's in my fucking recliner chair, right? I allow it to happen, so it's okay. So she's got the window open, and I'm like, "Babe, I'm leaving." We start all over again, right? Well, I'm singing loud outside, right? And then she starts singing loud, and now there's a couple of old. They're not old. They're probably like,
Your age.
no, they're probably like 62, 63. And so they're laughing their asses off. And they're like, "You got to get that on camera." I'm like, "I keep telling her, but she won't do it." It was a fucking riot. We both dropped dead, died and laughing. Don't have good enough signal. What the fuck, Steve? Hey,
Oh my God, RTT he posted.
give me a bottle of anything and a glazed donut.
Yeah, dude, I love fucking Yankee Rose. Give me a bottle of anything and a glazed donut to go.
Oh, man, give me something to ride on.
David, what? Look over there. Let me roll up to the sidewalk and take a look. Yeah, that fucking Yankee. That Eat 'Em and Smile album was fucking awesome too. It had Tobacco Road on it.
And by the way, one of the best guitarists I ever got to hear was Eddie
Oh,
Van
Steve
Halen.
Vai.
No, Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, well, I'm saying Eat 'Em and Smile. I mean, I don't know how David Lee Roth did not make it even bigger than he was, because he had Billy Sheehan
Good
on
night,
bass
Stump.
and Steve
sorry.
Vai on guitar, Greg Bessonette on drums. That was a hell of a fucking band. You know?
Abbott did a lot to do with that.
Sorry,
What's that,
Pinascas. Pinascas just, hey, Ohio, Pinascas just said 3 people just left my little party just because of Mikey singing.
Steve said something, I didn't get to hear him.
Stevie said he's got a shitty signal.
No, Steve on the chat, Mike. Shut the fuck up for a minute. Let the man talk.
Oh, that's
David
Steve.
Lee Roth's cocaine habit was a really big problem for both Van Halen and his solo careers.
That is correct.
He was pretty
Oh, okay.
tough to work with.
Plus, I think he had an ego problem too.
Yeah,
A
that's
little,
what
a
I'm saying.
little one.
Pretty tough to work with too.
But all those guys they all had fucking that amphetamines. They're all. I mean, you're on the road so long, and you're in Boston one night, fucking Miami the next. I mean, it's just,
Night Stump.
Good night, Stump. Yeah, he said at 4 a.m.
Good night, Stomp. And hi, Uncle Paul.
Stevie needs a booster.
Hey, Uncle Cal.
Oh, not a booster. What do you call it there? A mobile hotspot.
Right.
Because that's
Fucking mobile
how.
tower nearby.
Well, no. What happens is that just what's his name up there in Minnesota that we watch?
The fat
Oh,
guy?
yeah.
No. Fuck, I'm getting old. Joe and Zach Survival. He can make phone calls and use his computer up in his tent, up in the middle of fucking, he's like 10 miles from a Canadian border, out in the middle of nowhere in Minnesota. And because he uses a mobile hotspot.
Hey, Flan.
Good evening, Flan.
Well, what Stevie needs, I mean, he's so far up there, he needs basically a Wi-Fi connection is what he needs up there.
Yeah.
All right, Flan. No, you can still use a mobile hotspot. It's a mobile hotspot's the satellite, correct?
Well, no, it's using your cell phone as your internet provider.
Correct. But it's still,
But if you have
it's
no
done
cell
to a satellite, right?
No, it's not. It runs off of towers. And if you don't have cell service, then a mobile hotspot doesn't do you any good.
Well, that's not totally correct, because if you watch Joe and Zach's Survival Channel, okay, he has a camp, like I just said, up in the middle of nowhere in Minnesota with no cell phone service. Yet he's on his laptop enjoying everything he's doing, and he calls people and texts people from his
Well,
fucking
then
place.
he must be using satellite then.
No, and he said he uses a mobile hotspot, is what he said.
Well, I think you're getting that confused because a mobile hotspot is basically what you do to your phone. You turn your phone into a mobile hotspot, and everybody, like in the car, can use it as like Wi-Fi.
I'm just telling
Yeah.
you. I don't know.
Like my wife, like when we
No, Matt, I
travel
know
with-
it's on a sat phone. I know what you're saying, Matt.
Yeah. So my wife, like when we travel or whatever, she'll turn. She's, back in the day, she had unlimited service, so she would turn her phone into a hotspot, and then everybody, all the kids in the back seat in the car, would connect to her hotspot to get on and play games and shit while we were traveling.
Hey, Multi Gunman, how the hell are you? Great to see you. Why don't you do me a favor there, Ohio? Because I don't. Actually, I think I might be able to. I might be able to send him. Because I still. Let me see if I can do this. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm still here.
What are you trying to do, Mike? Send somebody a link?
Yeah.
Who?
So guns are really awesome.
Thank you. You don't have to call me awesome. Huh?
Who you sending a link to, Mikey?
Be goddamn business.
Okay, well, I mean,
How's that sound, asshole?
first
Cool,
you asked me
Gerald.
for help.
Gerald B's gonna go fishing with his wife.
Oh, nice. I'm sending one to Michelle just for a dish. If you must know.
So he's got 2 different waterfalls. Please take pictures of that.
Matt, are you no longer on Facebook?
If you're going, that just gives it away. So
No shit, asshole. You know I can't do 2 things at the same time, and I'm trying to find out why. No, because we're under. No, he's under another name. Fuck my ass. Let me see.
it's done. I did it.
You're a loser.
You hear me, Mikey?
What are you choking on small bones over there?
No, I said it's
No.
done. I did it.
I was choking on a lollipop.
I know you are, Matt, but I had you before on there, but I'm looking you up, and I listen. I don't know what's going on with Facebook. You know when they take my own mother off my fucking Facebook, and she didn't touch it because I called her up, asking her about it. It's all right to take they take contacts out of my phone left and right. My mother's like, "Who's they?" I said, "Ma, I don't know. I certainly don't do it."
There, the same one takes our tax money and everything else.
I go, "Ma, I swear to God," and so she didn't believe me. So my mom didn't believe me, and I'm like, "Mom, look." And she was like, "Holy shit, how do you do?" I said, "I don't know what the fuck happens." It happened to every phone I ever had, so it's not like it's something that you know what I mean? I lost a lot of numbers. I'm just happy that Shalisa and Steve get the fucking bird tonight, not me. Usually I got that duck standing on my fucking head.
Well, it's on somebody else's chat.
Well, no, because when you run the chat, you automatically sit where I am.
Yeah, you're on.
Mikey may ask how old your mom is. My mom is 79 years old. And I'm 55, going to be 56. And I have 2 older sisters. And 2 mistakes ahead of me and 3 more jackasses behind me. Stuck in the middle with you.
Steelers
That's
wheel.
me. You know, that's me. Stuck in the middle with you.
I'm in the middle too.
I'm the
I just
third.
saw all of my siblings that mom and dad sat there and finally reached perfection, so they didn't have to try anymore.
Yeah. You know what my youngest brother says? My youngest brother says, you know why they had the last two? So they do everything for them because the first fucking four didn't do anything. I go, I know, we did nothing. I know. I go, Mr. fucking Mike, you done cutting the lawn yet? Mom wants to know, so I can go out. Mom said I can't go out till you're done cutting the lawn. So cut the fucking lawn, asshole. Well, no, she said you were gonna cut it. I go, well, who wants to go out, me or you? Well, I do. Then cut the fucking lawn. Oh, I used to fucking. So the two youngest ones had it so easy. They never got the backing as I used to get for trying to be funny. Let's see if it brings up Matt. There he is. Welcome back.
Hey.
Yeah, Flan, yeah, she's 79. My dad turned 80 this past January. Yeah, they were young when they had us. When they had the first three anyway. She finally, I told my mom, we were joking one day, Flan, and I said to my mom, I go, Mom, I just realized something. She goes, what? I goes, if you had a friend that went to Vietnam, like in 65, 66, 67, let's say he left in 65, and let's say he did 3 tours. You were pregnant in technically you were pregnant in 64 until 67. And she goes, what is wrong with you? I'm like, I'm just telling the truth. You know, you were technically pregnant in 64 until 1967. I goes, Mom, don't worry about it. I just tell people you guys didn't dance at the fucking social events. You know, you stay at home. You know, you guys are bad. You know.
I don't know. Can we all take a moment to appreciate the beautiful beard on the chat now? Like, how you doing?
I don't have a beard, honey. This is called a goatee.
Shh, shh.
Oh, you mean Matt's? Would you rather me just say welcome Santa Claus?
No Santa I've ever met had a beard that big.
Yeah, damn.
What's the matter? What's the matter over there, Ohio?
Ohio has a sexy beard.
Yeah, I got a sexy beard. Where's it at?
Let's see it.
Where's it at?
You call that a beard? Put some milk on. Let the cat lick it off. Holy shit. That ain't a fucking beard.
Some of us just can't grow a beard.
All right, Mikey, you asked for it.
Oh, here we go. He's gonna put the fucking cowboy hat on. Watch this.
That's right.
Matt, you ever see this fucking numbnut with a fucking cowboy hat on?
Hey,
Watch this, Matt. Look how
you
he looks dumber in the cowboy hat than he actually does in the scally cap.
And a Motley Crue shirt.
That's right.
In a Motley Crue shirt.
Hey, good grief.
Oh no, I like Motley Crue.
You look sexy as hell, darling.
See?
Loving the hat.
Looks confused me. Motley Crue in the cat.
Anything to piss off Mikey. That's the only reason I do it.
Where's the Darth Vader?
Darth Vader. Oh my God, that takes forever. But you know what? Just for you, Shalisa, I'll get it out.
Shalisa, don't encourage him. This is not. Listen. This is not Mikey's Halloween dress up night. All right.
Mike's Halloween dress up night.
Holy Hannah. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna stop now, right? Then he's gonna go dress up like that idiot there from what's that Disney thing there? The pirate of what? Who's the guy that just got raked over the coals and he didn't deserve to?
Are you talking about Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah, Johnny Depp. But yet again, there's a woman behind that too. So you women, I'm telling you, it's all.
Whoa now, darling. Don't start blaming women because I can list off a whole lot of women's problems that start with men.
Listen, let me tell you something. That broad raked him.
Oh, that broad was batshit, like boomerang batshit crazy.
She made me look like fucking Einstein. That broad.
Mikey, that motherfucking bitch made me look like a goddamn saint, okay? So listen, I get it. She's fucking nuttier than a fucking squirrel nest.
That's just fucked up.
I mean, listen, when they said doing it dirty, I never imagined somebody taking a dump on someone's bed.
Right, that's bad.
I mean, how bad do you have to be to? Okay. I'm good.
I don't. This is just a PSA out there. Just because they're pretty,
right?
don't mean they sing.
The mattress, the box spring, the headboard, the footboard, it's all gone. Look at this kid. He thinks it trick or treat.
Yep, do the heavy breathing.
Where's the candy? Here's some candy.
I think I preferred the Wish.com Garth Brooks look.
Right. That's the Black Ohio.
What?
Shit, I wasn't muted.
You underestimate my power, RTT.
What are you gonna do? Shoot him with a laser?
No. I can't breathe. How do you breathe in this damn thing?
Oh God.
Hey Matt, have you ever seen the Star Wars movies? Let's see. You're probably not a big fan, but have you seen them?
Of course I have.
So you know when they take the Vader helmet off
The mask is.
Yeah.
and he has that weird breathing problem?
Yeah.
That's the coolest thing about this mask because it does that.
Oh, I just thought that was the way you breathed all the time.
No, that's like. Oops.
You keep telling him try to lose a few pounds, man. He doesn't want to, you know.
I gotta get one of those for Tardot so I can have him do that to the kids. Be like, whichever one's name, and I am your father. Yeah.
As much as I like the original Star Wars movies,
Right.
like the original first three,
Right.
you know, going back to what, 77, 78,
Something
77?
like that. Yeah.
Spaceballs is better. I said it. I said it. Spaceballs is better.
We ain't found shit.
We just watched that.
Comb the desert.
God bless you. I watched them too. I watched one with the I call them the snowmobiles in the air. What's that? The Return of the Jedi? What the hell that one was?
Oh yeah.
When they go through the forest,
The
right?
speeders.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. And but other than that, I don't get into all. I didn't. That's the only three I watched too. Was the first like three of them, and I never saw anything after it.
I didn't watch them.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so.
Oh no, I mean I know like my kid. My kid's wicked sci-fi. He's into all of it. The Walking Dead, all that sci-fi bullshit. You know. And
Hey, Walking Dead is freaking awesome.
I can't do it. I watched like 3 episodes. I wanted to puke. He goes, Dad, what's the matter? I go, there's no such thing as fucking zombies. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
I'm
Have
sorry.
you not been to Portland yet lately?
Great.
Where?
Portland or Philadelphia?
Portland, where? Maine or Oregon?
Oregon. They're all over the fucking place. Have you seen the videos of the zombies walking around?
I
I
wasn't.
have not.
Have you seen the people smoking freaking bath salts and freaking biting people's faces off? Like, it's not that far off, dude.
I have not. I just hear about people like, Ohio. Ohio started this job. But hey, did you hear about the motorcycle club that got shot up or whatever the hell he said? So that was what I was.
Yeah, I just got a quick breaking thing on it. So I mean,
Are you really going to sit there and tell me that you don't think that zombies are, a possibility?
Yeah, I don't believe in zombies. I'm sorry.
Have you not seen a single speech from Biden?
No, correct.
Have you not seen any of the
As
media
much as
sources?
As much as I love U.S. history, and even when was I in school when Reagan became president? Yes, I was. When Reagan became president is when I started it, and I ditched school just to watch the what do you call it? And when he left and old man Bush came in, I skipped school to watch it. And
The inauguration?
yeah, anytime a president came in, I would skip school or work and watch the inauguration. Why? I don't know, because I like history and I just like all that shit. Do you know that Biden's is the only one I didn't watch?
I didn't watch Biden's either. I watched Trump's, and I watched Obama's.
I watched Obama because I was going to fall asleep with the open your bucks. I didn't think that lady was ever going to shut up. She sounded like a robot.
I'm trying to think.
But
I remember we watched Reagan's at school.
yeah, I skipped so I can watch it at home because I wasn't sure if they're going to play it in school.
I don't remember watching Clinton or George W. or George H.
Yep. I watched all of them. Yep. And I believe I was a kid watching, what do you call it, with my dad?
The dinosaurs.
What was that? What was that TV show? The dinosaurs, though. Lost something. Lost
Land
World.
of the
Lost.
Lost.
Huh?
Land of the Lost.
Land of the Lost.
There was.
Oh no,
one
I just thought Mike was old enough that he actually saw dinosaurs.
I used to ride one to school.
Yeah.
No, he's
no,
not that
Gerald
old, but he
Ford,
does
I
owe
believe.
Jesus $2.
I believe I saw Gerald Ford. It seemed like he was always on TV when I was a kid.
Hey Matt, what do you think about all the gun tubers? Just everyone jumping on the videos of the injunction on the brace. You know, when it's only basically good for the plaintiffs that filed the case, not everybody. You know what I mean? And everyone's like, "Oh, breaking news," and all that stuff. Is that just to get views?
Well, no. I mean, gun tuber news is no different than the bullshit CNN and Fox News. Everybody races to get the newest news out. So I'm not completely shocked by it. It is good news. It is good news. I mean, it's something that people need to talk about. But no, it's just it's a relevancy thing. You know, the brace ban is such a big deal that they know that if they can get right on any decision that's being made, it's automatic, guaranteed views.
Views, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean that's what my whole you wake up like other day when they first announced the injunction or whatever by the one district court.
Right.
It's like every other video on my news feed or on my YouTube feed was fucking the brace, and everyone was saying the same thing, you know. So
I just bought a bunch of stocks. So when I become a felon, I'm just going to SBR everything, and if I'm going to do 10 years in prison, I might as well do it for something I actually did wrong.
well, let me tell you a little story. We had
story time with Ohio.
Yeah, story time.
Would that be with candy or without candy? How does
Is
that
without
happen?
candy.
Okay.
This is kind of work related, and we had a domestic where he, you know, a basement dweller, basically, you know, a basement dweller, 30-some-year-old living with his mom, like beat the hell out of his mom, but then he had a bunch of firearms. So now that he pled guilty to this charge of domestic against his mother, then he had to, you know, no more firearms. So they bring the firearms back and they log everything, and you know, through the court and all this stuff, and then we take the firearms and you know, we log everything about them, serial number and all that stuff. And I'm like, damn, those are some pretty sweet short barrel rifles he's got there, you know. we had a Wyndham, and then he had an Aero Precision, and they were decent, but they were short barreled, and he had a suppressor on one, and
Good man.
I said, I wonder if he had a tax stamp for that, joking around. And one of the ATF guys that came, was there to do some stuff, and I asked him, I was like, "What are you guys going to do with it?" He's like, well, "That's not us." I was like, "Oh, I thought you guys were here for these, And they're like, "No." And I was like, "Well, what do you do in this situation?" They're like, "Well, really, I mean, I can't let you in on that because it's not really a firearms thing; it's a tax thing."
Yes.
It's a tax thing. It's not really a firearms thing. It's a tax thing. So he couldn't really comment too much on the situation. But he said, but if we find out that he doesn't have a tax stamp, then we would probably send him a letter to comply. So we'll just give him a warning to, hey, you might want to comply. And I was like, okay. And what if he doesn't? He's like, I don't know. Half those cases we never looked back up on. And I'm just like, huh. And one of the guys I work with goes, you know what that means, don't you? I'm like, I'm building a short barrel rifle, and I don't give a fuck. If your thing is to send somebody a letter to comply and then not worry about it after that, then why are we so scared of them? You know what I mean? Because we'll just get the luck of the draw, and we would be the ones to get 10 years in prison and not a real criminal.
Oh, I won't go. I mean, they better have body armor on.
I don't. Hey, Ohio, I got a
You know what I'm
question for you.
saying? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, when you have an ATF agent in your office talking, and he says flat out, "We'll send you a letter," and that's about it. And then you see these videos where they're showing up on people's porches and stuff and ringing the doorbell and wanting, it's like.
But it's
How
probably a
did they
discretionary thing too, Ohio.
Yeah, discretionary. But how do they determine? I mean,
I don't
it's
know.
like
It's just like when I got. It's
this
just like when
guy-
I got denied. When I got denied my LTC in Massachusetts, right? They wrote the letter, sent it, and they said, if you have any guns in the house, you have to come to the PD and surrender your guns to the police department. I'm like, that ain't gonna happen. And so now, I just tell my kids, don't mention a goddamn word that I own a gun. And they're all at my brother's house. They're all sitting right there, but I'm not giving nothing back.
It just kills me that you got people, career criminals and gang members and stuff like that. They get charged with these gun crimes and nothing happens. But then
You know what? It's not that nothing happens. You know what it is? Is that it's like that charge here in Massachusetts that it's mandatory 1 year in jail if you get caught with a gun and you're not licensed to have it. Okay, it's supposed to be, and pretty much every entry to the state has that on a sign. Okay, but if you look it up, not one person's ever served the 365 days in jail for being caught with a gun, an unlicensed gun in their vehicle.
Right, but what I'm talking about,
You know why?
You got
Because they get
criminals-
them on the other charge. They'll get them on the drug charge. They'll get
Yeah,
them on
but
the
I'm
fucking.
talking about people that are on the street constantly because they're always in trouble, but then the judges let them out and they get probation and everything else, and then they get in trouble again, and the judge turns his cheek, turns a blind eye to and lets these same people out constantly. But then
it gets back to
somebody
discretion.
like me, you, or Matt, or whatever,
Goes
would
right
get
away.
turned up and get a 10-year sentence off of one fucking, pistol brace. You know what I'm saying?
Which
It's like they pick examples or whatever.
Hey, Redneck Prep, what's going on? Good to see you.
Hey, Redneck.
They do. They pick and choose who to make an example out of. But also back to your tax thing, that was the first thing. The ATF tipped their hand week 1 of this brace ban thing, because in their very, very first opinion of it, after announcing the ban, or when they announced the ban, is they said that they figure that they've lost well over $1 billion in taxes by not doing this, by not having braces be SBRs from the get-go. They tipped their hand right there. It's about money.
It's all a money grab.
All
Yeah.
about money. What
But then-
isn't it about money?
Well, here's the thing. But here's my thing. When they say, well, if you register or whatever as a short barrel rifle before May 30th or whatever, you don't have to pay that stamp, that $200. You don't have to pay it. And I came to the conclusion that
It's a registry.
it's a registry, yeah, but also if you have an AR with a brace on it and you fill out the paperwork and you send it in, if you don't get approved by May 30th, do you then become a felon because they know you possess that gun already?
I don't know about that, but I do know what I can say is that even if 100% of people with braces filed for the free tax stamp,
Yeah.
they can't process it fast enough.
Right, exactly.
The waiting period or the leeway period ending at the end of this month
Right.
was not long enough to allow everybody in possession of one to actually get their paperwork filed. And so they were making de facto felons out of people from the get-go.
Yes. But if you send that in and you get delayed or whatever, like you said, they're taking them forever to do the paperwork. You go past the deadline of May 30th. Then they go, oh, wait a second. He's not approved yet. We know he has this rifle.
Hey, stop right there. Can we stop calling the person he if they did the free tax stamp?
Stop calling what person what?
He. Like
He?
a man. Can we stop calling the person a man if they went and got the free tax stamp?
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Because he's a bitch.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Gun part abuse.
You almost had me like, what the fuck, for just a second. I was like,
Yeah.
he ain't pulling his pronoun shit.
If your husband got a tax stamp, you have a wife.
I don't see how they can. I agree with Redneck Prepper. He said that the ATF can't make laws and can't enforce them. So I'm telling you, it's gonna be. I still think it's gonna be discretionary thing what they want to do with everything, and that's just how we see things because. I know too many people. I know too many people that got in trouble, but different things.
Well, here's the thing.
One of them would have gotten one kid 15 years. He served 6. Okay. And his brother went to the police department and wanted to know where his guns were. And the police department said, "Well, we have him." He says, "Can I take him?" He goes, "Are you licensed?" He says, "Yeah, I have a license." And he took him. Not every police department's going to do that. You know what I'm saying? The kid that was in the same boat that I'm in, right? He went down. He wasn't even found guilty. He was all right. He wasn't even found guilty in court, and they still tried to keep his fucking guns from him. He goes, It's over. Here you go. I'm found not guilty. So, and that's the only charge I have in my record. And in the state of Massachusetts, now you have to give me my guns back. He had to he had to get a lawyer. The lawyer had to get the put some whatever you want to call it into the courthouse for Wilmington PD to let him take his guns. Are you fucking kidding me? To give his guns back to him. Because they had him downstairs in a locker somewhere with his name on it, tagged, the whole 9 yards. But they wouldn't give him to him. And he walked in with every fucking paper the courthouse gave him, saying that,
Yeah, that if you have a
So it's a discretion thing. It's a did the chief get laid the night before or the morning of? I'm telling you, it's discretionary.
If you bring the court order in,
Yep.
If you bring the court order and you say, you push a little button on the window, and I say, "Can I help you?" Oh yeah, I'm here with I got my court order from the such and such court. I'm here to pick up my firearms that were
Confiscated.
Well, not always
When I
confiscated.
got arrested. Yeah, they are. They're confiscated.
Well, not always. Sometimes they're just taken because the owner wasn't there or whatever. Like with Ohio's new constitutional carry thing, like we hardly ever do like improper handling of a firearm or concealed weapons anymore. It's just, you're not a qualified person or whatever. It's that law. But when they pull somebody over and they have something on them or whatever, but there's a gun in the car, well, that gun belongs to such and such. They contact such and such, and that person shows up, and we basically just write them a
See here, we can't.
property release that, hey, here, sign here that we're giving you this gun because they said it's yours, and we're just at this point we're just covering our asses is all we're doing.
Because here,
that's all we're doing. It's like, sign here. But if you have if you were like involved in domestic or something like that, and then the judge said you had to turn your guns in or whatever, and then it turns out that you were found not guilty or whatever, and then they get a court order to pick your guns up. They bring that in.
You need the court order to pick your guns up, though, if you have paperwork stating that you were found not guilty.
Well, I'm saying that they took the guns on a court order, so a court order releases the guns too.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically they show up, they got a copy of this court order. It takes me 3 minutes to get their guns back to them.
Well, it doesn't work that way here. And I'm going to tell you something else. Okay? The way they wrote that law in 2014 in Massachusetts, giving the chiefs of police in the state of Massachusetts the power of everything. Here's what I just found out. Well, I didn't just find out. I've known this for about a year now, year and a half. I can go to Lowell District Court, and let's just pretend a judge likes me, okay? And the judge says, you know what? You should be able to have your license to carry here in the state of Massachusetts. And he gives me a court order saying I have the right to have a LTC in the state of Massachusetts. Guess what? The way the law is written, the Dracut police chief doesn't have to honor that. The way the law is written, because they gave sole, what do you call it, to the chief of police. Go figure that one out. If you can figure that out, you just earned $1 million.
I have to say the chief where I'm at is very pro gun 2A. Like the city itself, because we're on a city complex, and the city itself has signs up, warning you're not allowed to have firearms on the premises or whatever. And that's the first thing he did was take all those signs down. He's like, you can't tell somebody they can't have a gun in their car. You know what I mean? Just because they're on city property or whatever, as long as they can't come in the building with it, but you can't tell somebody they're not allowed on the property,
Hey, Ohio.
Yes.
What's this I hear about a Columbus ordinance that is outlawing magazines more than 10 rounds?
Yes, I read something that other day. I did not know about it.
I did
read that other day for the first
I almost texted
time.
you about that.
They have their own thing or what, and I guess it's being fought right now. Somebody's fighting it, but anything over 10 rounds, and like you can't own I'm just going to say the stupid word, assault rifle within the city limits. You can't have anything like that.
Dish, I laughed my ass off so hard when I read this. I'm like, I almost texted him right away, but it was late at night when I read it, and I'm like, I can't text him now.
Yeah,
and I'm like, he shits all over my state. He shits all over my state. Now he's just like it because we have a 10-round mag. We have a 10-round mag limit.
That's just the city, though. That's just within the city.
I know. That's just within the city limits. I understand. But I still wanted to break your balls on it. That's all.
Right. But I don't know too much about it, though. I read something on it, and I talked to my buddy, and he's like, yeah. He was like, I didn't know about it either till like they seen it on the news, and it's like, well, God, it's kind of like one of those things that were in the cover of darkness when they passed it or whatever. There
And
must have been like,
correct me if I'm wrong, but Ohio does not have a state supremacy clause as part of the Constitution, do they?
Which is what?
what you're talking like the state law supersedes like
Supersedes
the
federal law?
thing is, I don't know because we did a like it's already been struck down. Like there's certain cities around this area that tried to, like Cleveland tried it. Cleveland tried to do like a magazine ban and assault weapons ban on their
Right,
own or
it
whatever,
didn't work.
and it got struck down.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking this one in Columbus should get struck down too. You know.
Okay.
But it's weird because you can do like there's not very many of them left, but there's like mayor's courts in Ohio. Certain little towns and cities have mayor's court, and they can do their own ordinances. And the law is you can't be less than a state charge. So if you have a charge of, say the state, okay, for instance, state code 451911 or 1119 or whatever is a OVI, and the state's first, your first OVI, you're mandated if you're found guilty of 3 days in jail, $1,000 fine or something like that, and that can be in lieu of the 3 days at the hotel that you can go do the driver training or whatever.
I did that.
But
I have a story about that when you're done.
But a mayor's court or municipal court or whatever, they can't make the penalty less than what the state is, but they can go more. So a mayor's court can say, I'm giving you 5 days in jail instead of the mandatory 3. They can go higher, but they can't say 1 day in jail.
That makes no sense whatsoever.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. It's just a weird law. And it took me forever to get used to, when you work in a area that we have a mayor's court, a municipal court, and then we have a county court. And it's just like, God damn, and all three of them have different levels of, penalty phases for the same damn crime,
That must be confusing to the people that live there too. I mean, that's just
most people know because the people that are always in court are the same people over and over, man. Honestly let you know, you hardly you get people that have parking tickets or get a speeding ticket or something like that. Right. That's one thing. But the people that are in trouble, they're always in trouble. They're the same. It's the same people over and over again.
When you go to court for a parking violation, you see a judge or a magistrate?
It depends.
See, anytime I ever went, it's
usually just a magistrate,
right? Because the judges are too busy with everything else.
Yeah, like with our parking tickets go through mayor's court, and the thing is, they found mayor's court to be unconstitutional if the mayor runs it. So these municipalities had to hire magistrates. So we have a magistrate that comes in two times a month and does mayor's court.
Unbelievable.
So yeah, the mayor can't be the mayor and
we have
set up.
We have towns that the courthouses are only open fucking 1 and 2 days a week. I had to serve jury duty. One time, and I'm looking I walk in, I'm looking at the thing, and it says closed Monday, closed Tuesday, open Wednesday, open Thursday, closed Friday. I'm like, must be nice.
Yeah.
So, Ohio, let me tell you a story about that going to jail instead of doing the alcohol thing.
Yeah.
So, back in 2001, I got a DUI.
Me too.
My lawyer got it changed to a reckless op because reckless op isn't an immediate suspension of license like a DUI is, which was more important to me at the time. But since it was alcohol related, I still had to do what they call ATSE. That's what probably the word you were looking for.
Yeah.
and I don't remember what ATSI is an acronym for, but it's 3 days at a hotel where you do alcohol counseling and stuff like that. And it's at the time it was $75 a day is what it costs to do that. Like Ohio said, you can, first offense, petition to go to jail instead, and jail is 5 days and free. So I was like, I'm going to jail, suckers. So I petitioned to go to jail, and the judge granted it to me. I had to go in like 3 weeks later or something and turn myself in to go to jail. And
commitment. You're on a commitment.
Yeah, I had to go turn myself in to go to jail. It was like 3-4 weeks later. However, in that period of time, I also put in for a week's vacation at work. So on day 4 of being in jail, mind you, ATSI is 3 days. On day 4 of being in jail, the guard says to me, I'll bet you wish you would have done ATSI, huh? I said, well, why would I have wanted to do that? He goes, you'd have been out yesterday. I said, dude, I'm making $15 an hour right now. What are you making? Apparently, that was not funny to him.
Probably not.
In 2001, he was probably making $10 an hour. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm like, dude, I'm making $15 an hour sitting here in jail. What are you making? And yeah, he was not happy at all about that. Yeah, so I got paid 40 hours to sit in jail instead of paying $75 a day for ATSI.
Yeah, now some places have a pay to stay policy too at jail. Like when I work, well, you know where Morrow County is in Ohio, just north of Delaware County.
Yeah.
Okay, we used to have like all Franklin counties, like a doctor or somebody from Dublin or Upper Arlington or something like that would get a DUI and have to do 3 days. Well, they didn't want to do that shit in Franklin County, so they would come out to Morrow County and pay $75 a day to stay in our jail for 3 nights, and then we would sign their paper that they came into our 3, and then they would turn that back into Franklin County Court. So they would allow, because these people that live in these uppy neighborhoods or whatever, they don't want to go down and stay at the Franklin County Jail in downtown Columbus. So they'll come out to the suburbs and the country and stay in the jail out there for 3 nights or whatever. So we had that pay to stay program, and they had to pay cash all up front when they come in. And they would just and talk about, like, obviously they passed the word around because we had every weekend we'd have somebody coming in on a Friday. They'd show up at like 3:00 on Friday with their pay to stay paperwork, from Franklin County, and then we would fill out their paperwork and send it in for them. But yeah, it's like, and where I was when we moved up north here, the one place where I was working for a while, as in the jail, they did the pay to stay also, and a lot of people from Cleveland, would, if they got in trouble in Cleveland, they would come out to the suburb and do 3 nights in the suburban jail there.
See, in Findlay, there was a place called The Rock, rehabilitation, something or another, and it was work release. So I had to do 20 days in jail and 10 days at The Rock. And The Rock was basically locked down except for 10 hours a day where you could go to work.
Yeah, you just went to work, you just show back up there and take a shower and go to your bunk and then wake up a few hours later.
I think The Rock was $100 a day though to stay there.
Yeah.
We had that as a program, not even as a thing for DUI or anything. If you were in minimum security and you were doing, let's say you were doing a 2-year bid for a bar fight or something stupid or whatever, they called it work release. You want to go on work release. We used to have a kid to frame with us. We'd pick him up and drop his ass off at jail right at the end of the day, Monday through Friday. And But here in Mass, when I got my DUI, hey V-Boy, great to see you. How the hell you been? Murr, meow, hello. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, Dish? By the way,
I don't know.
I don't know either. I thought it was somebody else without mentioning any names. Sits like over there underneath Shalisa. But here in Massachusetts, when I got my DUI, I had to pay $525 and go to, I used to call it drunk school. I used to go to drunk school on Monday night for, I don't know, I forget how many weeks it was. And they gave you a breathalyzer when you walked in. If you blew 0.01, you got thrown out. And then you had to pay your $525.75 all over again. And you wouldn't believe the people that were fucking retards, and they'd come in fucking, 0.01, 0.02, what, like the smallest amount of fucking booze in their system. And they got thrown out, and they're like, "Oh, you can't do that." And actually, they kind of. You sign a piece of paper stating that they're gonna. It's, you know what I mean? So I sit there, I laugh, and I did my time, and the fucked up part in Massachusetts, you get caught twice. Anytime. It could have been from 1960 was your first offense, and 2019 was your second offense. You're going away for 2 weeks. It's not to jail. It's to it's like a alcohol abuse type program, and so for 2 weeks they own your ass. But that's, my wife used to be the intake nurse that did that, and she's like, "You fucking people!" I said, "Don't fucking put me into that. I never got caught twice." I said, "I should have been caught about 8 million times, but I never got caught twice." Okay, Dish, thank you. I just saw the private chat. Okay.
That's all right.
There's a video going around now. Some young girl, she was drunk driving or whatever, and she crashed and killed people. But she's at the hospital, and she's talking to the cop, and she's like, "Well, where's my car?" And like, "'Cause I need my car because I got school tomorrow." And he's like, "No."
Oh my God, I saw that one.
He's like, "You're not going to school tomorrow." She's like, "I have to be at school." He's like, "You don't understand. You're not getting this. You are under arrest. You are going to jail. You killed 2 people tonight." And she's like, "Well, how's my car?" And you could tell he was losing his temper with her.
But why bother trying to talk to a drunk person? Number one.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, let's make sense, right? You got a trained officer that knows when you're drunk, right? Therefore, when you're drunk, are you? No. Are you? You know what I'm saying?
Well, she just kept talking about that she had school and what time was she going to get out and what time was she going to do this. And
right. So she's obviously still fucking hammered.
It was all about her and her spoiled, entitled mentality.
Not what
this video is
not
about.
the horrific thing she did or what she's responsible for. I get it. I understand. But my thing is that why bother even trying to, you know what I mean? I never, I learned this through bartending, right? I never argued with a drunk. Hey, you're all done. Why? Because I said so. But, no buts. Rules. Look at the board. What are the rules? Oh, there's no argument. You know why? You can't argue with a fucking drunk. You know what I mean?
Hey, Gear. Hey,
Gear Grind 19. How the hell are you? Sorry, Dish. Go ahead and say hi.
No,
How's it going?
I'm sorry, Dish.
No problem.
And it took me a while, Ohio, to realize this, right? It took me till I quit drinking to realize it, right? That trying to make sense to a drunk or a person that's drunk, right, is you might as well just bang your head against the wall. You know? It's sad, really. I know a girl that she lost her mother and father, probably 3 months apart from each other. And things weren't going well for her. And the neighbor asked her, if she'd watched the kids. She said, yep. Well, she made the decision to drink, and then took the kids for a ride somewhere, and of course didn't strap none of the kids in or anything like that, and then got T-boned at an intersection, and one of the little kids went flying through the window onto the sidewalk and died. They arrested her for drinking and driving, and she did 7 years for it, because that's what the motor vehicle vehicular homicide is in Massachusetts. 7 years, and she served 7 years. And she's the one that got hit. She didn't do the hit. You know what I'm saying? She got T-boned, and
I know.
I've never.
and all they were trying to tell her is that, hey, if you weren't there and driving drunk, the kid would be alive. So that's why you're going to jail. It's a lot of big pill for a lot of people to swallow, but it is what it is. You know.
I've never made good decisions drunk.
I made few. I won some money on a couple of dogs and a couple of horses. That's about it. Everything else is kind of fucking stupid, so I'm with you. The problem is that I would drive back home from those establishments. You know, so this, you know, even then I got arrested. Another motorist called it in. I wasn't driving. I wasn't like, because I was a professional drinker, you know, so I could drink 18, 19, 20 Budweisers, and you never fucking know it unless you smell my breath. And I was just doing about 75 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, just one lane. Some old lady with a brand new cell phone decided, you know what, he's driving too fast, and I'm going to call the state police. And this is what the state troopers told me. It's in this report and everything. And she called. He said, there's a red pickup truck flying down Route 495. And I got the whole report, heard the whole 911 call, the whole 9 yards. And that's all she said. He's not weaving, he's just driving too fast. Unfortunately, there was a cop just towards the end of shift. He just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Got the call, said I'm not too far from there, and he got me. Now, same cop who I saw a few years later, but the same cop, I didn't realize that I could have. I mean, I did realize it, but I could have gotten out of my DUI charge with a kid who just graduated junior college with a degree in criminal law. Because prior to taking I didn't take the breathalyzer test until I got back to the state barracks. Okay. So, which means when he gave me my field sobriety test, we were on an off ramp, and the off ramp was sloped like a sumbitch. And because when I pled out, and I told the judge, I went there with no counsel, no nothing. Right? And the judge said, you sure you want to waive counsel? I says, Your Honor. He says, why do you want to waive counsel? I said, well, Your Honor, number one, I said, I'm all done. You know, I said, good night, hon.
No, I'm saying good night to my, not Mikey, Stevie, and Susie.
Good night, Stevie and Susie. Thank you for coming. Too bad. I'm sorry that you couldn't get the reception.
Good night, y'all. Hope y'all have a good night.
So the judge says to me, he says, and he's trying to be neutral. He's trying not to, cross the line and everything like that. And he says, Mr. Lewis, there's certain laws. I said, Your Honor, I understand. I said, but you know what my hope is? He goes, what is my hope is that, I'll serve my 45 days and then I'll be all set and I'll have my license for the end of the summer. The problem was he was giving out maximum sentences in the state of Massachusetts to every fucking other guy in front of me and girl in front of me that was up there for DUI. So he said, "Are you sure you want to waive counsel?" And I said, "Yes." And I said, other than the fact that, every time they give me a public defender, it still costs me fucking, a shit ton of money that I don't have right now. And that's when he tried to explain to me that, Mr. DeLucia, there's certain laws and certain regulations that the police officers, I get it. Trust me, I get it. And, but I took the rap. I took it, and I didn't. But I saw that cop like 3 years later. 4 years later, well, I don't forget how many years later it was. And I told him, I'm still not drinking from that night. He goes, really? I goes, yeah. I goes, the other thing is I says, I probably should have listened to the judge, though. I said, would it be on my record and all that? And he said, and I go, because, by right, when you gave me the field sobriety test, I says, I was on that hill on the off ramp. And he just gave me like the, fuck, you notice that look? That shit you got me type fucking grin, you know what I mean? But I didn't have the fucking $3,800 to get out of it either, That's about the cheapest fucking lawyer you can get to get you out of it too. It's like $3,800 around here anyway, it is. And it cost me $3,000 on the ticket anyways. Because the ticket I got had like fucking 3 charges on it, 4 charges or something on it. But what was cool though, I only served 45 days of a suspended license. So I did get my license back before the end of the summer. So I was happy about that. So I say sometimes you get a cool judge, sometimes you don't.
Wrong button.
I like the judges that you see on like YouTube and shit that fucking scream at the defendant, tell them to shut the fuck up and shit. I love it. I think it's awesome. Like the murderer bastards, right? They like murdered a kid or something. They stand there with that fucking shitting grin on their fucking face and like, you just want to rip their fucking head up and shit down their neck. And that one old lady judge, well, she wasn't old, but she was like, you can wipe that grin off your face, boy. And I'm fucking dying. I was like, oh my God. My wife's like, you got to see this video. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's, yeah, some judge yelling at a defendant. I'm like, what? I go, judges don't yell at defendants. She goes, you want to bet? I was actually surprised, really.
I like watching the ones that get like the life sentence and their reaction.
Yeah.
When they pass out.
Murdered 3 people or something, and
they're sitting there and you're usually like either teens or in their early 20s, and they're sitting there and they're flashing their gang signs and everything else and acting like they're Billy Badass, and then the judge hits them with life in prison with no chance of parole, and then you just see their skin tone change and then they flush out and they're like, what?
I just bought a 6x9 for the next fucking 60 years. Yeah, you did, you dumbass. It's fucking people.
What's this about skin tone? Ohio, is that a racist thing?
Sure, why not? No,
Okay.
Turn pale. They turn pale real quick. No matter what color. No matter what color they are, when they hear that life in prison with no chance of parole, they all turn a little pale, and they get a little sick to their stomach, and then they always turn and look at their mama.
My baby, he's a good boy.
Yep, always.
Yeah.
Your boy just stuck fucking 3 knives in this guy's chest.
My baby didn't.
He's a good boy.
Didn't do nothing.
Oh, he's a good boy.
He didn't do nothing.
He's a good boy.
He was going to go to college. He was changing his life around.
Yep. He found Jesus in jail too. That's the other one. I love that.
Dude. I'm
I found Jesus. What, did you trip over him? Listen.
they always find Jesus in jail.
Oh. I mean, I get it. You got to talk to somebody because
I just
you're in
remember
a 6x9 all day. Well, you are if you're a fucking, like the jackass that did the bombings here in
I
Boston.
had to do
He's in a 6x9.
the church services a lot, like
23
you,
hours a day.
you'd have you'd always have we called them prison ministries or whatever, but they went through a background check and they came in and they would talk to the inmates and stuff. And 9 times out of 10, man, we had a guy that was he was a pastor and he was a really cool guy, really good guy. And he would come like every Sunday after church and conduct services at the jail.
Mhm.
But then like on Wednesday night and Friday night, they'd have the church also did AA meetings at the jail, and then
Yep.
they had like Bible study, and it was always like some 90-year-old woman that would come in, and you had to sit in the room with them, and you just sit there, and then she would always try to get you to be part of the conversation and stuff, and I'm like, man, I don't talk about religion, with inmates, I don't.
I'm on Mikey's chat. I can't talk about religion.
Yeah, so no, I don't talk about it anyway, except for to make fun of it because I don't believe in
Right.
it.
Exactly.
But they would, same guys over there. Is like you'd see them this week talking about their love of God and everything and how He's changed things for them, and then they get out, and 3 weeks later they'd be back. I'm like, did you miss God? Did you
Do you? When
didn't go to church on the outside, did you? You just had to come back to go to church here?
Do you guys give points if they go to AA meetings? Like, do they get time off?
It depends on their sentencing through the judge.
Because they used to get, here in Mass, they would get, if they attended AA meetings, they would get if you went to, let's say you were in there for 3 years or 2 years or whatever, or a year or something, and you did, 20 AA meetings, you get your sentence reduced by a week, or you get, you know what I mean?
I'll tell you, a lot of people would get sentenced, and AA would be part of the sentence. Like you have to.
Well, yeah. Well, that's when I got my DUI, I had to go to AA, and you have to have your card
I think
signed
that's
and all
stupid.
that.
I mean, that's stupid because there were guys in there that was like, the one guy I just remember.
It isn't. It isn't.
He was sentenced to 30 days, and then he had to attend AA, and he had to do this, and he had to do that, and his charge had nothing to do with alcohol, and he's like, I think he was sitting there, and every time they were like, would you like to say something? He would just be like, yeah, I think this is bullshit. I'm in jail for this charge. Had nothing to do with alcohol. He goes, I haven't drank alcohol a day in my life, and I got to sit through these fucking, AA classes with you guys, and I'm not an alcoholic. I never have been, never will be. I don't drink, but I have to because I'm in jail, because of the judge thinks that I need to be an AA, and he would say that every fucking week, and I got to agree with him,
Yeah. No, but here in Mass, you get nailed for DUI, you're going AA during when you get out. Even if you don't serve any time for it, you're gonna go. And usually on a DUI charge here in Mass, you're on probation for a year. So for 1 year, you have to go 2 meetings a week or something, or 3 meetings a week, and you got to piss clean. If court ordered, you have to piss clean. I wasn't court ordered to piss clean. There are some guys and girls that have to piss clean, but I didn't have to. I probably wouldn't have pissed clean until fucking 8 months after I stopped drinking to begin with, because I was fucking the amount of fucking booze I drank, But yeah, they give. The funny thing is, we went to a jail. It's Billerica House of Correction, and we're given when you go in, you got to give them your license and all that, and they run you, right? And guy says, "You got any warrants?" I go, "No, I haven't had any warrants for quite some time." So he looks up. He goes, "Hey, you're right." I goes, "Well, yeah, I know I am." I says, "You know, fucking next guy who I've known for, I don't know, 10 years had some. Now here's the part that's fucked up. Okay, he has gotten licenses. Okay, he had gotten arrested for this is why he quit drinking. He got arrested for a he got arrested for a trespass because he was hammered one night, and he got arrested for a trespass. So here's the funny part. So he's been arrested, and he got his license back all these times, right? You know how you have to renew your license every 5 years, whatever, right? And you can't if you have a what do you call it against you? If you have a warrant, there's no way in fuck you're gonna renew your license. So you ready for this? 1971. They had a warrant out for him. So we're going to the jail for an AA meeting. They're telling him he's got a warrant out on him. They arrest him. He goes, "It's impossible that I have a warrant out on me." He goes, "What do you mean it's impossible?" He says, "I've only been arrested twice in my life. And in the very last time I was arrested, I went to court, and that's why I'm here now. You know, I had to go to AA, do all this stuff, and yada, 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 yada." And come to find out, it was from 1971. And he's like, "There's no," he kept yelling at him. I'm like, "Dude, don't say anything stupid to do anything stupid." First of all, remember that you got fucking 19 million cameras all over you. You know, I said, "You're not going to get out of anything you do." And yep, they kept him. And he went to court the next morning. And that's when they told him they looked it up. He was at court all day because they didn't have an answer for him. And they looked it up, and they went back, and it was there. Something about the way he explained it was Ohio, because you could probably tell me better than he could probably explain it. So there's numbers attached to a warrant. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have your case numbers and everything else, but then
Right.
you had like a lead and an NCIC number. Yeah.
So they're typing all these numbers in, but everything's blank. They made this, did that. Finally, they called. He's there fucking 4 hours easy, he said, at the courthouse. And he's like, finally, they came back, and they told him he was all set. They made him pay a $25 court fee, though.
Yeah.
They got to get their money, right? So, but there's no, and this is what he said to the judge. He's like, "Your Honor, can you please explain to me how this happened?" And he went through the whole gamut, what I just told you guys. He says, "There's no way I had that on me." He says, "I got to spend a night in jail." I said, he says, "For nothing, for a clerical mistake."
Yeah, because if it was really a warrant there for 1971, they would have took care of it when they arrested him the last time.
Exactly. And that's what he kept saying. He goes, "So, Your Honor, you know what I call that?" He says, "I call that a clerical mistake, and somebody cost me a night in jail." He says, "But you're only going to apologize to me. But yet if it's the other way around, I would have to do time." He goes, "It's not fair." He says, "It's not fair. I get a night in jail for somebody making a mistake."
A lot of times they'll run someone's name, and if somebody has a social security number that's close to yours, or the last name that's close to yours, like if you had like a Mike, a Mike.
Galusha, I do. My dad. That's how I bought my first car.
Yeah, but I'm saying if somebody's, if it's in close and they have a warrant, sometimes it will hit on yours too, and it will say that there's a warrant, and you have to know what you're doing in order to read these on the what they call leads, like law enforcement automated data system or whatever. You have to know us. Bye, guys. You have to know what you're doing, man, because you make a mistake like that, you cost somebody like they cost somebody not in jail like that guy. You have to, and then people are like, I don't have a warrant. We had a guy the other day that we had a warrant for him, and he got pulled over, and he was trying to explain that it wasn't him, that we were looking for his dad, because his dad has the same name.
Right.
And then they called, and they called me, and I'm like, I said, we just entered this warrant 2 days ago. We're not looking for his dad. We're looking for him. He's 26 years old. He worked at a place called CC Mitchell. It was it's a appliance store or whatever, and he was like a driver for him. And he got fired. And once he got fired, he didn't show back up to, he didn't turn all of his shit in. So he kept his company credit card or whatever, and he went out and he spent like $44,000 on their credit card in like 2 days before they could get it, before the credit card company could shut it down or whatever. So of course he got charged with theft and everything.
Right.
But then he went to court Friday. Yeah, he got bound over to county because it's felony over $40,000, over $40,000, and he went to county for common pleas, and he wasn't down there but an hour or so, and they kicked him loose because his crime was to deal with money and not violence. So, like in Cuyahoga County, where Cleveland is, it's you got damn near have to kill somebody on videotape and then go out in the street and admit that you did it before they even put you in jail.
Yeah, no,
They're still running their COVID stuff. Cuyahoga County.
There's been more times that we've been out or whatever. Or I had a party at the house one night, and Wilmington PD came in, and they said, "We're looking for Mike DeLucia." I'd be like, "It all depends which Mike DeLucia you're looking for." And we're looking for the one that's a little bit older than you. He goes, "Well, he's a lot bit older than me, not a little." And he goes, I said, "You got the right Mike DeLucia?" I said, "So let me ask you a question. Is how you spelling it?" And he goes, DELU. I said, "No, first of all, it's a capital L." I said, "But go ahead." He says, DELUCA. I goes, "Nope, got an I in there. Neither one of us. Have a great night." And I walk away from him. And he goes, "Well, wait a minute." I goes, "Nothing to wait about. My last name is DeLucia. You see the mailbox?" "Don't need to give you an ID. It's spelled right there on the mailbox." I go, DELUCIA. I go, "You're looking for DeLuca, who I went to school with." Well, sort of. He was a few years ahead of me. I said, "But, I go, I know who you're looking for." And he goes, "But," and I'm like, "Do you really want me to go in and get my old man and tell you that we're not who you're looking for?" He calls the station, looking at his thing, and I'm like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me." Because I just got to look at the fucking mailbox, look at your computer screen. 2 different fucking names, bro. Well, I just wasn't sure if it was a fucking clerical, like a misspelling. I said, "No, it's not a misspelling. It's a real last name. It's DeLuca, DELUCA. LUCA without the I is not how you spell my last name." And he was just. But then I had one when I coached Papuana. My warrant, the only warrant I ever had was traffic fucking not going. You know what I mean? And
you were talking about court costs earlier. I had traffic court, and I went in and they found me that I wasn't, not guilty or whatever, and judge had me pay court costs. And I'm driving home, and I'm thinking, why did I have to pay court costs? I was not guilty, And I'm thinking to myself, should I? And I get home. And this is before the days of everybody having a cell phone. And my phone, I'm literally got my key in the door trying to get in, and my phone's ringing. And I pick it up, and I'm like, "Hello?" It was the court secretary, and she was like, "Can you can you come back down here? And I was like, yeah, for what? You know, I was like, I was a little leery of going back down to the courthouse. And she's like, they charged you for court costs, and I have to refund that to you because I paid it right then when I walked out, you know?
Right. Well,
And,
yeah, you have. When I go, you had
yeah.
to.
And she's like, you were found not guilty. You don't have to pay court fees or court costs or whatever. I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, yeah, I'll be down here in just a few minutes, you know, because I only lived like a mile from the courthouse. So I drove back down and went in, and she gave me my money back. And I was like, that, you know, I was like, you know, well, on the way home, I was thinking, why did I have to pay that? You know, because I was found not guilty. She's like, yeah, I don't know. They make a lot of mistakes here. That was a mayor's court back in the day.
When I coached Papuana, I had a warrant for not showing up to court for a ticket or whatever. And so I'm coaching, and this little kid come up, you know, one of my players comes over to me. He says, Coach, he said, my dad wants to know if you can stay here after practice 5 minutes. I'm like, yeah. Tell him go, yeah. So at the end of practice, the kid went home with his mother, and his father shows up. I didn't know his father was a cop.
Oh, bullshit. He got you on that warrant.
And he goes, hey, Coach. I go, hey, what's up? He goes, he introduced himself to me. He goes, I know you don't know who I am. He says, I transferred from Arlington or whatever the fuck town he said it was. And yeah, I was going to say, because I know most of the guys went to school, you know, with my dad and my mom, or, you know, in between there, then, you know what I mean? Or me and my older sister says, so yeah, I said, I'm a little confused. I said, no big deal. I said, what's up? He goes, so his son's name was Billy, and he goes, would Billy come home? And I asked him what his coach's name is. He couldn't pronounce it. I said, yeah, I told the kids just call me Coach D if they had a problem. I said, it's no big deal. I said, I'm not trying to embarrass anybody. You know what I mean? He says, no, I get it. He says, anyways, he says, the name struck a fucking, like a little light bulb went off in my head when I heard the name. He goes, I says, why? I said, I grew up right over there. And I says, right there on Veranda Ave. He goes, yeah. He says, I noticed that. He says, I was looking into that. I go, why? What's the matter? He goes, you got a warrant out. You might want to go fix that. I said, I got a warrant out on me. He says, yeah. He says, I knew you probably may not remember, or they may not know. He said, so I printed it out for you. Sure as fuck. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. He says, so
did he says, put you in on it, or just letting you know about it?
No, he just let me know about it.
Okay.
So he goes, listen, now this is a Thursday night. Okay. He goes, do yourself a favor. I says, oh, I know all about the Goon Squad. He goes, they call them the Goon Squad. I goes, oh yeah. So we used to call them the Goon Squad because they would go around on Friday nights looking for all the guys that have warrants and arrest them on a Friday night, so they have to spend the weekend in jail.
Yeah.
So
well, that's like Monday's
I hated
holiday.
that.
Don't fuck up this weekend because Monday's a holiday. You won't see a judge till Tuesday.
Absolutely. So I said, I'll take care of that first thing in the morning. So I was framing with a kid. Well, actually more laboring, but you know what I'm saying? I'm working with this kid that's doing framing. And I called him right up when I got home. I'm like, Joe, I said, I'll meet you in Southborough. And he's like, what's the matter? I said, I got to go to court. He says, why? I said, I got a bench warrant out for him. He says, no way. I'm like, yeah. He goes, when did you get a bench? I said, I think it's for that ticket. He goes, no way. I'm like, yep. Sure as fuck, I walked to the courtroom, and the woman, I go to the clerk's office, and I said, hi. I gave my name. I told him why. He says, listen, I go, I said, I was informed that I have a warrant out on me. So I said, I'm here to fix that. She goes, for? I said, traffic violation. And she goes, oh. And she just kind of, and I'm like, well, I was told I have a warrant out on me, so I'm just trying to fix it. And she goes, you didn't get any mail or anything? I goes, probably not, because I moved back home, and I said, I don't, you know. And she said, well, you didn't leave a forward. And I said, well, I live 3 streets over. I mean, you know. And she says, well, okay. So she did everything. I go see the judge. And the judge says, Mr. DeLucia. I said, sir, I says, Your Honor, I says, I the only thing I can tell you is the same thing I said to the clerk's office when they asked me. I says, I moved. And, he goes, oh. So he says, well, he says, listen, he goes, it's going to cost you $50. I said, okay. And I says, I don't have any more warrants on me. He says, nope. I said, okie dokie. Here's your $50. I'll pay the clerk. He says, you walk out of here, go to the clerk's office, pay $50, and you're all set. I'm like, okay, thanks. See you later, bye. The court fee was more than the fucking ticket.
Figures.
The ticket was only $25 to $30. The ticket was $30. Driver on inspection sticker. And the court fee was $50. And so I said to him, I said, I don't have, so there's no more warrant here. Nope, you're all set. You're clear. I'm like, oh, thank you, fucking God. So then I go to practice on Monday. And I see his father, and I'm like, thank you. He says, you're welcome. I'm just letting you know. I said, I know. I said, if you looked me up, I said, I've been in there for, I said, I went to court the wrong day. He goes, what? I said, I had all the court papers and everything. I says, let's say I was supposed to go to court on Tuesday. He says, yeah. I says, I went Monday. He says, really? I said, so here's what happened. I show up on court on Monday, and I'm not supposed to be there till Tuesday. He says, okay. I go in, and my name's not on the board. Oop, bye, Matt. My name's not on the board or anything. Because usually if you're doing court that day, your name's on the board, right?
Yeah, on the docket.
Right. My name's not on this board. And I'm like, So the clerk's office says, ma'am, I says, I was told to be at court because I had gotten caught for unregistered uninsured. And I said, so I was told to come to court today. And she's like, yep. I was okay. You ready? I go to court. I see a judge. They set me up with community service to pay the bill, right? Because they charge me like $800. So I said, well, I'm really not working right now. I said, but, can I have some time to pay this? Give me like 3 months to pay it, and we'll pick a date. And he says, you're not working? And I says, no, sir. I explained to him I was involved in when I broke my neck and blah, blah, blah. I said, so it's kind of, he says, oh. He says, we're going to hook you up with community service. I said, okay. He says, blah, blah, blah. He said, you're going to go down to the, what do you call it? Not the Red Cross. What do you call the Salvation Army? He said, you're going to go down to the Salvation Army. You want to see this woman? Blah, blah, blah. He says, in the court, we're going to give you a piece of paper, and you're going to go down there, and then every week she's going to fill out stuff, and she's going to call us, and you're going to go from there. I said, oh, okay, Your Honor, thank you. He says, you're welcome. That was Monday. Okay. Now, don't forget, I wasn't supposed to be to court until Tuesday. You ready for this? I don't have to be at the Salvation Army till noontime. 10 o'clock Tuesday morning, I got arrested. Because a kid that I went to high school with, who's just coming on, is being trained. And he goes, and this is how we do warrants. They're sitting in the church parking lot that's 100 yards from my house. Okay? And my name comes out on the fucking thing for fucking not going to court. I says, how can I not go to court? I says, I went yesterday. Oh, no, excuse me. This was the next day. So it'll be Wednesday. I'm like, I went to court on Monday. I said, so I got arrested for failure to appear. I'm like, there's no way. As I'm spotting this thing at noontime today, they told me to go down and see this lady today. I got the paperwork right here. Look at Woburn District Court. Everything had the court's name all over it. Mike, I'm very sorry. You're on the list to be arrested for a warrant. I said, you got to be shitting me. He's like, nope. It's my grandpa. I said, what do you want to? I said, I'll go to court. Don't worry about it. I said, can you guys give me a ride back? Because I'm going to be done before you guys. Because they got to go in and sign all this bullshit, yada, 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 right? We get to the courthouse. It's the next town over. We get to the courthouse. They let me smoke, which was nice, in the cruiser, which was nice. They didn't have to, but that was kind of nice of them. You get to the courthouse. I go downstairs. They bring me right up to a judge. The judge says, and they shackle me with two other guys. And they call my name, and the judge, when the judge said, he said, and I go, not guilty. I was here Monday. And the judge said, excuse me. I said, yeah, I don't need counsel. I said, Your Honor. I said, I was here Monday on this. I came to court early, and the paperwork hasn't gone in yet. So that's why the warrant was kicked in. He goes, you was here Monday? I said, I certainly was. As I have a piece of paper in my wallet that you set me up with the Salvation Army in Wilmington. He goes, you look familiar. He says, uncuff him. They uncuffed me and went to the bench. And I showed him everything I had. And get out of here. He's like, I'm very, very sorry, young man. I goes, it's all good. It just didn't go through the system yet. I get it. It's not, you know. He was all apologetic. I run outside, and there's a Wilmington cruiser still sitting there. This guy's going to be right home. You know. So like, what happened? I said, I told you. I went on Monday. You guys got to learn how to. Sometimes when people can prove their innocence, sometimes you're just going to say, you know what? Computers suck. The computer's wrong. You know. I says, and try to listen to people. Now, I'm not an axe murderer, okay? I'm not a. We're talking about failure to appear for a fucking traffic violation.
Right.
We're not talking about a fucking murder. You know, a rape or a fucking. You know what I mean? We ain't talking about all that shit. You know? You know, it's not like it's a fucking. That's why, I mean, I love computers because I love the technology because we get to do what we're doing now, Tish.
Mhm.
But sometimes technology fucking hurts.
Yeah.
No, it really does. It's like,
I know it.
oh, and it's like, I mean,
Matt posted in the internal chat that he had to leave.
okay. I was looking for it because I saw the red button, but I didn't think I had. Yeah, see, it's still. All right, there it is. Gotta go. Okay.
I'm getting tired myself, so.
Yeah, we gotta get out. It's 12:30. Why don't I have? I'm trying to see now. I see. I went to okay. With this, if you don't hit the other button, forget about it. It does one of these. Yeah, it magnifies on you.
Okay.
It's a pain in the prick, really. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. But anyway. No, I know, Redneck. But what are you going to do, you know? Hey, Redneck, it was good seeing you. Gig Riding, good seeing you. Everybody out in the chat room. Hey, have an awesome friggin' Memorial Day weekend. And let's try not to forget why they call it Memorial Day weekend.
Absolutely.
And if people are wondering why, don't be afraid to fucking explain it to them. You know, too many people. As the years go by, too many people forget why we have holidays, certain holidays, you know, non-religious certain holidays. People don't get it. They should get it, especially when it's Memorial Day, Veterans Day. Believe it or not, folks, we have a Flag Day. Does anybody want to take a wild gander? And please don't look it up. Does anybody want to take a wild gander and tell me when Flag Day is? I know when it is. I just
Flag Day. That is. It's in a weird month, right?
I'll give you a hint. It's next month. It's June 14th is Flag Day.
Okay, June 14th.
When when I was a kid in school, they used to make we would make a big deal out of it, and we would you get to draw. It had to be, obviously it was American flag, right? But it could be from 1776 on. It could be, you know what I'm saying. It was
Do
just.
you know why they have Flag Day?
I don't know why they didn't really tell us why. We just celebrated it, to be honest with you.
Flag Day, June 14th. The day commemorates the adoption of the Stars and Stripes as the official flag of the United States.
Okay. And here in Massachusetts, the city of Boston shuts down what they call Bunker Hill Day.
Call it what?
Bunker Hill Day. If you guys,
Oh, okay.
the little scraping they had at Bunker Hill War in Boston back in the 1700s, and they still celebrate that holiday. But my point is that people, people just don't get why we have, I wish Patriots Day was a national holiday, okay, instead of just a Maine and Massachusetts holiday. I think that day should be a national holiday. Without trying to sound like an asshole, if we have a national holiday in June for what is it now? What's it called?
Flag Day?
No.
I was going to say, because Flag Day is not.
No, Flag Day is not a national holiday.
Yeah.
Liquor stores, banks, they're all open.
Is it June 19th or something like that you're talking about?
Yeah, what is it? It's right before Father's Day dish, isn't it? It's called, it's a new one.
19th or something like that. I can't remember.
Like Juneteenth?
Yeah.
Juneteenth is like the celebration of like when slavery ended.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's now a national holiday.
Yeah.
So I want to see, which doesn't bother me. I just want to see Patriots Day, okay, which would be the war at Lexington and Concord in April of 1775. I want that to be a national holiday, and I don't understand why it isn't. We got the 4th of July. We got, I don't know. That's just me, I guess. But anyways, listen, we're going to get the hell out of here. Stevie and Susie, if you're still listening, they went to bed. Yeah, sure they did. But Susie's baking them cookies. Sure she is. With nothing but an apron on. No, I wish I could have came on because that would have been cool. I wanted to see his camp. I like the videos he does when he's up there.
Yep.
Not that I don't like his other videos, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just,
Yeah.
No, I don't watch his stuff. I don't like that guy.
you know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying. But,
He's always telling me to play nice to people and stuff. I don't like his idea.
Right.
well, because you don't play nice with people.
No, I
Yeah.
don't.
And you should, especially when we're on our chat. We have to be nice to people, unless they're mean to you first. Then you get to
Right.
yell at them. And I'm never mean, so you can't yell at me. Right, Dish? Tell 'em.
Right. That's right.
Hey, V-Book, it was awesome seeing you, my friend. But we are going to get out of here. It is like just about 12:35 Eastern Standard Time, of course. But we are going to get out of here, and we shall see you all next Friday. Have a awesome, safe Memorial Day weekend. And like I said, look up why we have Memorial Day weekend, okay? Thanks, guys.